Welcome out to Spillane Field, everybody. It is the Wareham Gatemen hosting the Brewster Whitecaps today in an Eastern versus Western Division battle at Spillane Field. Jacob Toby along with Matt Weasel there with you here on WCTV. It's going to be a fun contest today between the Whitecaps and the Wareham Gatemen. The Gatemen sitting at 16, 19, and 1, 33 points, fourth place in the West. The Eastern Division a little bit more well-defined, I should say. The Brewster Whitecaps sitting in fourth place, 16, 19, and 2, 34 points. Let's go over the Brewster Whitecaps starting lineup. It's Nick Dunn leading it off. He's at second base. Chandler Taylor is the right fielder. He bats second. Mickey Gasper is the catcher. Marty Costas, the left fielder. Hunter Bishop, the center fielder. Michael Curry, the DH. Kyle Datris at third. AJ Graffinino, the shortstop, bats eighth. Julian Infante at first. He will bat ninth. And we'll take a look at the Wareham defense. It's Kyle Kasser at third. Ben Baer, the shortstop. Jaron Duran at second. Blake Sable at first. Left to right in the outfield, John Topa, Stephen Kwan, Robbie Metz, Willie McIver doing the catching for Justin Montgomery.
Justin Montgomery's been absolutely phenomenal when he's been in the lineup. However, for the Gatemen, that's been a problem because he hasn't been in the lineup the past few games, obviously. Being the all-star starter, he only got one inning. His last start coming over about 2 weeks ago. It's been a problem for the Gatemen right now are lacking in starting pitching. Justin Montgomery, basically this is a must-win for Justin Montgomery unless the Gatemen, they don't really have a true starter going for a while after this.
Nick Dunn will be leading it off for the Whitecaps. He'll take his hacks from the left side. First pitch is in for strike one, and we are underway at Spillane Field. Umpires for this evening's ball game: Timothy Carey is at home plate. Nick DeMarchi, the umpire at first. Jeff January is the umpire at third. We saw Jeff January in Catuit last night manning the home plate.
Jeff January last night. So 2 nights ago, we saw Rick Del Vecchio behind the plate. Rick Del Vecchio got hit a couple times in the ninth inning, was in a ton of pain after the game.
This one set on a line to left field and in for a base hit. Nick Dunn, he is the leadoff hitter today for the Brewster Whitecaps. He gets it started quickly.
Well, Jeff January was behind the plate last night. Before the game, we're doing our pregame show. We're located we're a little bit to the right of home plate, all the way to the backstop. And our Sam Corman goes, Jeff January, hoping he doesn't get the same treatment that Rick Del Vecchio got with getting hit yesterday. And Jeff January, before the game, just turns to us and goes, "Yeah, I really hope so." Well, fourth inning of that game.
First pitch to Chandler Taylor is low for ball one.
He gets a foul ball that goes off his chest protector on the right shoulder. I'm running the soundboard for that game. He turns back to me and gives me a little smile, letting me know everything's all right with him.
Yeah, the umpires, they take a beating here on the Cape as well as any baseball game around. Chandler Taylor, the right fielder, stepping in. He's a dangerous hitter, batting second today. 227, 7 home runs, and 17 RBIs. And he connects with this one out to center field, and making a leaping catch is Kwan. He retires Chandler Taylor for out number one.
Kwan we've seen this a couple times from the Gatemen outfielders. He kind of just took a step forward first, thinking the ball wasn't as high as it was, had to take a few steps back and make a leap. And for him, a leap isn't that much. For most people, he's one of the shorter players in the Cape. But for him, he needs to make a leap, make that play. Still got the out, though. Runner still on first. Everything's all good.
And here comes one of the dangerous hitters in the CCBL, Mickey Gasper. He takes ball one. Gasper, 312, 5 home runs, and 28 RBIs. He's tied first in the league with those RBIs, and he's also first in walks with 26. He has just been sensational for the Whitecaps this season.
There's a reason he was an all-star here a week ago at Spillane Field. And him and a couple other of the Brewster Whitecaps, Michael Curry, also have been phenomenal batting. Despite the Brewster Whitecaps being up and down, those two have been consistently good all season long.
1-1 sent out of play to the left. Coming into today, Brewster 7th in the league in batting average, 250, and they have the least amount of stolen bases in the Cape Cod Baseball League, 35.
And life's not going to be any easier with these Gatemen catchers trying to pick them off. Had first and second base. And I could say first and second base because they will throw to first a lot after pitches.
Yeah, Matt, you mentioned that snap throw from McIver down to first base. Sable at first today. A check over the runner. Nick Dunn dives back safely. Gasper just 2 for 10 in the series versus the Wareham Gatemen, and hits this one foul.
And for the Gatemen right now, I mean, you have to have a lot of faith in your pitcher right now because the only person that's started for you that you can have confidence in so far this season in Justin Montgomery, whereas all the rest of your stars either left due to innings limits, due to injuries. This is your guy now. This is your ace.
2-2 from Montgomery. Oh, high riser, and McIver couldn't snag it with the glove. And down to second base goes Nick Dunn. Oh, not the pitch Montgomery was thinking about, but it sails over the catcher McIver.
Montgomery got rid of that baseball right after the pitch, gave it to McIver to hand back to the ump. And what that tells me a little bit, it could have to do with the weather a little bit, because it was raining here, and it's been a little on and off rain, if that's affecting the grip on the ball, possibly the gloves being a little wet as well.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Mickey Gasper at the plate. Here comes the pitch, and he connects with it out to left field, and rather right field. It's caught by Metz. The tag going from second to third. The throw is not in time.
Yeah, you mentioned Robbie Metz in right field. The first time he's playing that this season, played it 21 times last year. He was in the outfield for the Gatemen. But right now, Robbie Metz, you saw a little bit of that. You know, again, same thing Kwon did, where he took a step forward before he took a step back, and that's kind of an infielder's move. You're not taking a step back right away as an infielder, like Metz is usually playing, whereas now the first move has to be a step back and then recover forward.
Marty Costas batting cleanup today. He is the left fielder. He's got a runner on third with 2 outs, and connects on the first pitch, sends it right to Baird at short, throws over to first, and in time. So the Whitecaps, they leave 1 runner on. They cannot score. We head to the bottom of the first here. No score at Spillane Field on WCTV. Back here on WCTV, no score between the Whitecaps and the Wareham Gatemen. Let's run through the Wareham starting lineup. Stephen Kwon will lead it off. He is in center field. Kyle Kasser is at third. Willie McIver does the catching. He bats third. Jaron Duran, second straight game in the cleanup hole. He's at second base. Jake Anchia, the DH tonight. John Topa in left field. Robbie Metz in right. Blake Sable, the first baseman, bats eighth. Ben Baer, the shortstop, he will bat ninth. And the defense for the Brewster Whitecaps goes like this. Kyle Datras is at third. A.J. Graffinino, the shortstop. Nick Dunn at second. Julian Infante at first. Left to right in the outfield. Marty Costas, Hunter Bishop, Chandler Taylor, and Mickey Gasper doing the catching for Paul Milto, or Paulie Milto.
Paulie Milto, 0-1 on the season right now, and it's key for the Gatemen to get on him fast and really get something going early. They've struggled at it the past few games, getting runs early in the game.
Quan takes strike one. Quan 333, no home runs, and 13 runs batted in on the season. And you talk about the Gatemen offense struggling yesterday, only mustered 4 hits throughout the game versus the Kettleers in the 4-0 loss, and 3 of those hits coming from your leadoff hitter, Stephen Quan.
So, I mean, this is the guy you want at bat, but clearly someone else needs to step up.
Makes contact, the first baseman Infante running out, and he couldn't make the transfer from the glove to the hand, and reaching at first is Stephen Quan. It will be a hit.
Stephen Quan again leading off the game with a hit, but, you know, besides Stephen Quan, really no one else got the production going. John Topa almost had an RBI hit that it looked like the ump might have taken away from him. According to people around us, they thought that way, but, you know, he got a bad call, and he got out. And really no one else on the offense. Will McIver got hit, and besides that, no one else in the offense getting anything going. However, a lot of people on base, which is good to see.
Kyle Kasser, the third baseman, batting second for the second straight night. He takes ball one. Kasser on the season, 277, no home runs, and 8 RBIs. The speedy Quan is at first base. Kasser connects with this one, out to left field. Making the catch is Costas. No advancement from Quan.
It'd be interesting to see with Quan right now. Past 2 games, against YD, then against Katuitt, it was Quan getting stuck in pickles at first base. And especially in the first inning. Excuse me, not against YD, but the past 2 games. And it was just interesting things to see where Quan, you know, he's your leadoff guy, and one of the main reasons your leadoff guy is not necessarily his speed. Obviously, he's really fast, but it's because he can get on base. And if you're on base, you need to stay on base so that the rest of your team can provide for you. And right now, he's not giving them that opportunity.
Willie McIver, first pitch swinging, sends it out to right, and he's retired on 1 pitch. Chandler Taylor out there roaming in right field for out number 2.
Now comes Jaron Duran, and the reason Jaron Duran might be batting cleanup for the second straight day is his record against currently the Brewster Whitecaps. He has the best batting average coming into this game against the Whitecaps, 4 for 10 with a 400 average. Obviously, that's not a huge sample size, but if you're looking for anything to get your offense started, here's your contact guy right here.
Of course, Duran making his second straight appearance at the cleanup position. 0 for 2 with 2 walks yesterday versus the Kettleers. Normally have seen him either leading off earlier on in the season or down in the 7 or 8 spot. Right now he's facing Paul Milto, who is out of Indiana, 6'3", 240-pound right-handed pitcher. Hometown of Greenwood, Indiana. On the CCBL season so far, this is his 10th appearance and 3rd start. 0-1 with a 3.90 ERA. 25 and a third innings pitched, 20 strikeouts, 9 walks. In his last appearance on the 21st of July versus the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, the Whitecaps tied that one 8-8. And Milto went 4 innings, gave up 6 runs, 4 of them earned. 7 hits, 3 walks. Check that, 2 walks. In 21 batters faced. Three balls and 1 strike to Jaron Duran, with Quan over there at first base. No movement from Quan, and strike 2 called on Duran.
You mentioned this is Milto's 3rd start of the year, and he doesn't have a choice but to go a little bit deep in this game, because for Milto and the rest of the Brewster pitching staff, there's only 10 pitchers on this team. They need people to step up for them.
3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning, and a runner on first base. Here comes the 3-2 to Duran. Made contact on the ground, tried to snag it, was the shortstop Graffinino. He can't do so by the time he gets up. Man, Jaron Duran's over there at first already with the speed, and they're going to rule that one a hit.
And another hard contact for the Wareham game, and something you like to see because they've been struggling with that the past couple games. Just getting solid contact on the ball. A lot of it's just been lazy fly balls, easy for outfielders to plays for outfielders to make, and you want to be able to use your speed. I mean, we haven't mentioned it. We've mentioned it a ton in the beginning of the season. A little bit less now is the small ball theory with Don Stenton. They've really gotten away from that, and now's the time where you need to bring that back, especially with Tristan Pompey not in the lineup, and you really don't have a real power hitter besides the man up right now.
And the man right up right now is Jake Anchia, 238 out of Nova Southeastern. 4 home runs leading this Gatemen club, 13 RBIs. Of course, a home run hitting contest participant here at Spillane Field, the All-Star game. This one on to the third baseman, Datris. Throws across the diamond, and that will end the inning. So the Gatemen, they strand 2, and they can't score. We're headed to the second here on WCTV at Spillane Field. Top of the second at Spillane Field. Jacob Toby with Matt Weasel there here on WCTV. It is Hunter Bishop for the Whitecaps facing off against Justin Montgomery. Bishop coming into this evening's ball game, 221, 1 home run, and 10 RBIs. And Montgomery coming off an appearance versus the Brewster Whitecaps back on July 19th. That was at Stony Brook Field. A relief appearance, 1 inning, and no earned runs or hits, so an easy inning for Montgomery there, and a rare relief appearance.
And that was just because of the All-Star game coming up, him and Griffin Roberts. Roberts getting 2 innings in that game.
This one sent down the left field line foul.
But it was really nice to see for them, especially that was an overall dominant pitching performance for the Gatemen, with Mason Fioli having his best start of the season, 5 innings of scoreless ball, and then Montgomery coming in to relieve him, Roberts coming to relieve him, and a little bit of problems at the end, but it was okay. They had enough of a lead at that point that it didn't matter.
It is Bishop, Curry, and Datris in this inning for the Whitecaps. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes Montgomery's full count pitch, and it's a bit high. Bishop will take the walk. Now Michael Curry, the DH, to step in.
Michael Curry has only played 2 games against the Gatemen this season, but he has enjoyed success, 5 for 8 so far in those 2 games, which is really nice to see if you're the Brewster Whitecaps. And this is a very nice ballpark for Michael Curry after the All-Star game.
Of course, he hit that jack out to left field into the bullpen. Maybe the fastest home run we've seen leave the ballpark this season. Curry, 275, 1 home run, and 11 RBIs.
Seems like everyone that hit home runs in that game has been doing well since then. Curry's been doing pretty well, and same with Griffin Conine, who we saw just yesterday. He's been having a phenomenal year and has been phenomenal since the All-Star break, whereas the Gatemen have had some issues.
And McIver's going to go out and talk to Montgomery. Montgomery will feature the fastball, 90 to 93. Slider / curveball. They read multiple reports on whether it is a curveball or slider. We call it a breaking pitch here.
very odd. Usually you can tell, especially coming out of the hand, usually you can kind of see just a little difference and a little different movement. However, that shows a little versatility he has with that pitch, and if he's able to control it, especially at the next level, to be able to go both ways with it, is a very, very nice asset.
He's also working on a changeup. Probably see that around 83 miles an hour. But he is no doubtedly the ace of this staff, with Griffin Roberts leaving. And now here comes pitching coach Jim Lawler out to talk to Montgomery, as well as William McIver out there.
The Gatemen cannot afford for Montgomery to struggle at this point. Noah Zavalos, who is the only other person that's given you really a reliable start, giving a pulled hamstring yesterday. Hopefully he's okay, but we're going to see what happens with him. Montgomery is now your only person that's really started the entire season. Mason Fioli gave you one good start, but he's given you a couple bad ones this year, so you can't completely trust him at this point in the season, and no one else really has started for the Gatemen. They're going to Fitz Styler's gotten a start, but it was more like a bullpen kind of day where they just wanted to get through the day. The next one up apparently is Aaron Hernandez, and then possibly, my guess would start being Dalton Rose, the D2 pitcher of the year.
3-0 up and in. Curry will go down to first base. Back-to-back walks to lead off the second inning here for Montgomery. And now Kyle Datris will take his hacks.
Montgomery has had a little more issues with walks. His past 2 appearances, he has 2 strikeouts and 2 walks. And, you know, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think about it, a person that hasn't been walking basically anyone, has been striking people out, now having some issues.
Datris, 239, no home runs, 7 RBIs. And you talk about Montgomery not walking anybody. This Wareham pitching staff walks nobody. 92 walks, least amount in the Cape Cod Baseball League, and they're the only team that hasn't thrown over 100 walks yet this season.
Yeah, a lot of those walks, though. You mentioned over 90 walks now, and just about 2 weeks ago, we were looking at around 50 walks. So you're talking about a team that really, they were early in the season controlling the strike zone, painting the strike zone, and now they're starting to miss it. And you have to wonder if it's a little fatigue. Now, obviously, you're coming off a college season, now you're at the summer baseball season, but they need to be able to get back and start painting the strike zone again and give your hitters a chance. Then, you know, you can't give up free runs like this on walks.
This one fouled off. Now no balls and 2 strikes. And also here comes the rain. It was raining earlier in the day. It was on and off throughout BP and infield and outfield, and it kind of stopped before first pitch, and now it picks up again. They're trying to get this game in at least to 5 innings because there are really no more days to put this game in the schedule.
The next off day is at the end of the season. And
yeah, the game right before, rather the day right before the playoffs start.
And really, everyone wants that off day, but also it's key because now you're looking at one other game that's already postponed for tonight, is Katuitt Hyannis, which could have huge playoff implications, especially for these Wareham Gatemen.
Have to see if those two have another game to play this season to see if they do a doubleheader. This one in the dirt. Ball gets away from McIver. Runners will advance to second and third.
And, you know, couple, you know, wild pitch, a pass ball, whatever it is, we haven't seen McIver really let anything get behind him too much this season. Neither Jake Anchia, and both of them the past few days have been letting balls get past him. You have to wonder now, you've been playing so much all the way back to fall ball earlier. Is the fatigue starting to get to these guys? And especially with them not winning that much, it really, you know, there's not much to look forward to.
It is ruled a wild pitch. Here comes Montgomery's 1-2. It's in the dirt. Ball gets away from McIver. One run is going to come to score. It's Bishop from third, and the Brewster Whitecaps, they lead this ball game right now 1-0.
And the entire outfield just heads down. Robbie Metz turning around with his head down. John Topa just staring at the ground. Stephen Kwan, hands on his knees, looking at the ground. Just pure disappointment right now, it almost looks like. And it looks like just no one's been able to get a feel for this game. Obviously, it's not nice weather, so it's not really helpful to try and get a little excited for this game, get a little motivated. But someone needs to start stepping up, and starts on the defensive side right now with Montgomery. He just needs to get pitches all over the plate at this point. Give your fielders a chance to make the outs.
There are no outs in this inning, as Datcher swings and misses. He will strike out. There it is, out number 1. And now A.J. Graffinino will step in. Graffinino, .218, no home runs, and 9 RBIs.
And the Gatemen bullpen already getting started here.
One hit foul down the first base line.
Tanner Dodson, who's not in the lineup today because he's scheduled to pitch, is already getting warmed up in the bullpen. And at this point, you need someone who's going to come in and just almost stop the bleeding. Obviously, you want his bat, but if his arm's going to get you through the rest of this game, it's very important. Last time out, pitched 4 innings of work, only giving up 1 run with 4 hits and 5 strikeouts.
Cut on and missed by Graffinino. So Michael Curry, who walked after Bishop walked, he's on third. Only 1 out in the inning. Sure, the Gatemen are playing for the out, not to save the run.
Infield's in, though, in case any grounder comes close, they can try and make that play.
Montgomery's 0-2. Up and away. That fastball not in control right now.
Yeah, and you have to wonder also, not to add any more nerves to Justin Montgomery's first post-All-Star game start, but he's got family here today. His aunt and his dad are here to watch him pitch today, which always adds a little bit of extra to it, and maybe less pressure is better.
Contact made, a diving attempt made by Duran. The ball goes into right field. Coming home to score is Curry. An RBI single for A.J. Graffinino gives the Whitecaps a 2-0 lead.
Duran playing in on that one, trying to see if there's any chance of making the play at home. And because of that, he wasn't in his normal spot. Ball goes where if he was in his normal spot, easy play for him. Instead, comes to him too quick, unable to make the play. Duran's had some fielding issues the past few days. That one not on him, though. And again, now the Gatemen, who have struggled hitting so much in this 4-game losing streak, now need to start hitting, and that's asking a lot right now.
Julian Infante, the first baseman, at the plate right now. Infante, .237, 1 home run, and 12 RBIs.
Talking to a Red Sox scout, he said Julian Infante might have some of the most raw power in this entire Cape Cod Baseball League, which means if you're a Gatemen fan, Montgomery hangs another pitch right now, it could be a 4-0 game that quickly.
Infante takes strike 2. Still 1 out in the inning. Couple wild pitches really hurting Montgomery and the Gatemen right now. 2-0 lead for the Brewster Whitecaps. Graffinino is the runner at first base. 0-2 is sent foul down the left field line on the ground.
This is a very big double play opportunity right now with Infante at the plate, not the fastest guy on this lineup, and a chance to just get out of this inning only giving up 2 runs, and that might be enough to just make up. They were able to score 4 runs against Hyannis 2 days ago here at Spillane Field.
Fastball missing high once more. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count.
Dodson no longer warming up in the bullpen, which either means that he's ready to go right now or that they sat him down and having Montgomery pitch at least a couple more innings.
The 1-2 out to right, and it falls right in front of Metz. Going to third base is Graffinino. He will make it there standing up. Runners at the corners with 1 out, and Justin Montgomery continues his struggles here in the 2nd inning.
Have to wonder also if the rain playing a factor. Duran tried to make the relay throw and then lost it, slipped out of his hand, and this is just an unfortunate series of events right now for the game. And they just went on a 5-game win streak. Now, if obviously very, very early in the game, but this result stands going on a 5-game losing streak. Playoffs now getting a little more questionable. This is not the time to really be having little issues like the ball falling out of your hand missing diving stops, stuff like that. They need to be making every single play to give themselves a chance at winning games because the bats right now are not coming alive.
Nick Dunn, the leadoff hitter in this lineup, the second baseman, gets his second at-bat in as many innings. Takes ball one. A.J. Graffinino was the leadoff hitter 2 out of the 3 times that the Gatemen have played the Brewster Whitecaps this season. Graffinino, before that RBI single, was 2 for 8 in the series. Now he's 3 for 9 with the RBI. And there is going to be a pitching change here at Spillane Field. Justin Montgomery's night is done. Jim Lawler coming out to make the change. In comes Tanner Dodson, right back on WCTV after this. Pitching change here at Spillane Field. Justin Montgomery, his night is done. He's making way for Tanner Dodson, the utility player who can hit and pitch. Dodson leads the Cape League in batting average at .376, but right now he's been put into the game to pitch. And now the count, 2 balls and no strikes to Nick Dunn.
And this is a crucial situation for Dodson because they need to get out of this inning without sacrificing another run because they don't have him in the batting order right now.
Strike one taken from Dunn, who singled back in the first. A.J. Graffinino is the runner at third, and Fonte the runner at first. Already 2 runs have crossed the plate here for the Brewster Whitecaps in this ball game. And with the rain starting to fall again here at Spillane Field, you just didn't think that Montgomery would only last 1 1/3 innings. This one sent up into the air, shallow left field. Coming over is Baird. He will make the catch. Shortstop will run it in quickly. No advancement from Graffinino at third.
And that one, early on in the season, one of the things that was nice for the Gatemen was their communication. Right now, not communicating well on that one. Topa looked like he was about to tackle Ben Baird on that one if the ball was about 2 feet back.
Taylor flew out to center field his first time up and connects on the first pitch to left. Topa won't be able to get it. Graffinino will score. Chugging to third is Infante. They're going to wave Infante around. The throw from Duran is not in time. A cutoff throw from Duran was not in time. 2 more runs score. Chandler Taylor, a 2 RBI single, 4-0 Brewster.
That hit by Chandler Taylor, one that we saw a lot on Saturday at Spillane Field, where in the home run hitting contest. There weren't a lot of home runs by anyone, but Chandler Taylor was able to make a ton of solid contact and what would be extra base hits. Obviously, you're looking for home runs in that situation. And those 2 runs not charged to Dotson. Both of them earned runs to Montgomery, which now makes this his worst start of the season. 4 earned runs for him. And also it seems a long, long time ago when he had that 0.00 ERA for the Gatemen.
Taylor actually gets a double on that play. And Mickey Gasper flew out to right field back in the first. Will step in with Taylor at second base. So 4 runs have crossed here in the second inning. Brewster coming into the ball game today, 16-19-2, 34 points, 4th place in the East. Wareham also 4th place, but in the West, 33 points, just 1 point behind Brewster. Swung on to Sable. He'll run it over himself at first. And that will end the inning. 8 get to bat here in the second. And 4 runs score. Brewster takes the 4-0 lead at Spillane Field on WCTV. Back on July 20th, the Wareham Gatemen were 2 points behind the Cotuit Kettleers for first place, 1 point behind the Bourne Braves for second place as they sat in third place, tied with Falmouth with 31 points. They now find themselves with 33 points, just 2 points more than that day, and they're in fourth place in the West. And first pitch is taken for strike 1 from John Topa.
And you mentioned fourth place in the West, only 4 points above Hyannis, who's in fifth place. Hyannis not playing tonight. Their game at home against the Cotuit Kettleers postponed.
And that's a big one for the standings, like you mentioned earlier on.
Absolutely, and you're talking about right now for the Gatemen, a possible must-win game. If you want to say anything is, this might be it against a team that has been struggling as of late, and they're not showing it right now.
Topa got jammed, sends it out to right field. And making the catch is Taylor for out number 1.
The Brewster Whitecaps in their last 10 games are 2-7-1. One of those losses coming to the Gatemen before the All-Star break, and now you're seeing a little bit of a difference where the Gatemen 5-5 in their last 10, but it hasn't been nearly as pretty going. If you look at it, really 1-5-4. 1 loss, 5 straight wins, 4 straight losses, and the Gatemen just haven't been pretty.
Yeah, it's a bit deceiving, that record. Robbie Metz fouls this one off. 284. No home runs and 6 RBIs. He's in right field today.
And now if you're Hyannis watching this game, you thought the season was over a couple weeks ago. Nothing going right. You know, the Gatemen, who are basically your closest competitor, all of a sudden getting on a win streak, getting hot, everything's all good. Now you're sitting at home because your game's postponed, and you got a little eye on this game. And all of a sudden, you see 4-0 Wareham down. You have an extra game. You have a chance to make this up now.
Metz shoots it down and out of play, down the right field line.
Whereas for the Gatemen, they right now probably don't know anything about the Hyannis game, but all they got to know is this. They're down 4-0, and they need something to start with their bats.
Metz fouls off his 4th straight pitch at the at-bat. He's down, no balls and 2 strikes. Last time the Wareham Gatemen beat the Brewster Whitecaps on July 19th, 10-3 win. That was at Stony Brook Field. Mason Fioli, you saw that start. 5 innings, no earned runs, 1 hit, and 6 Ks. 1-2 on the ground. Graffinino will retire Robbie Metz for out number 2.
Very good hustle by Robbie Metz, who really the reason he was brought back this season was everyone was loving him, not only for what he does in the field and everything, and his versatility as a utility player, but the fact that he just runs everything out so hard, and you saw it right there, barely getting out. But you mentioned that last start where Fioli was pitching. Well, if you look at the score line, it's almost looking a little similar as if you just flip the names right now. The Gatemen, I believe, got started in the first inning in that one, but Brewster up early, away, like the Gatemen were able to do, at the Whitecaps.
Blake Sable at the plate, 169, 1 home run, and 6 RBIs. Bats from the left side, playing first base today. And the Wareham Gatemen hosting the Whitecaps at Spillane Field, already down 4-0 in the second inning.
I made a comment to, I believe it was the Chatham broadcaster a few weeks ago, that the Gatemen almost seems like you can tell their games by the first 3 innings. And he looked at me and goes, what are you talking about? You know, it's a 9-inning game. What do you mean, 3 innings? Well, right now it's 4-0 in the second inning. Unless the Gatemen could get something going pretty soon, it's going to start taking a toll on you mentally. You know, you start thinking, we can't get a hit. You know, maybe today's just not our day, and it hasn't been for the past 4.
Sable, hard shot to the right side of the infield, and pass done at second. Nice piece of hitting there from Blake Sable, a 2-out single. And Matt, I agree with you on that statement. Katua scores 1 in the second, 3 in the third yesterday. 4 runs through 3 innings, that's a toll. 4 runs through not even 2 yet, that's a toll on your defense.
Absolutely, and offense, and when just nothing's going right. And the only bright spot right now for the Gatemen was the guy that just got the hit in this 4-game losing streak, has been Blake Sable. He's been playing pretty well in this 4-game losing streak. The one problem is that the rest of the team hasn't been able to be hot with him. You know, usually in baseball, if you get 1 or 2 guys getting hot, maybe the rest of the team can follow. But right now, it's the one guy being hot in Blake Sable. Stephen Kwan's kind of been doing this thing at the top of the order. And besides that, everyone else just struggling, and someone needs to get started.
Ben Baird, the shortstop, 148, no home runs, and 3 runs batted in. Blake Sable, the runner at first.
And Ben Baird might not be the guy to get it started. In his last 10 at-bats, only 1 hit. He struggled all season long at the plate. Young player, just like Blake Sable, coming off his freshman year. But right now for the Gatemen, you know, they need the youth to be served right now. They need someone to get something started.
Yeah, Baird coming off his freshman season at the University
of Washington with his
That's what it
teammate
was.
Willie McIver behind the plate. McIver, who had a great start of the season, has also slowed down. His dad in attendance, though. Great guy. Really nice to talk to every single day.
Could have sworn the stat sheet said something else, and I was confused if that was the case. But yes, University of Washington. Bear will take the walk. And now first and second for Wareham with 2 outs.
That's the first thing the Gatemen have gotten off of the pitcher Milto this game, besides a hit. He hasn't thrown any strikeouts, hasn't thrown any walks. A little different from yesterday when they were facing Jason Billis, who had no control and couldn't get it over the plate at all. But yet the Gatemen, you mentioned it before, through 3 innings, were down 4-0, so it didn't really matter.
Back to the top. Stephen Kwan led off the game with a single, his 4th hit in the last 10 innings of play.
Gatemen need 9 Stephen Kwans right now because he's performing for them.
Matt Feld, our beat writer for the Gatemen, and I always say this: if Stephen Kwan got here a tad bit earlier, played maybe 10 more games with Wareham, he would have been an all-star.
Absolutely, but actually, I would say he's not complaining, but I think he's complaining a little bit, being on the Oregon State Beavers, which were really the best team in college baseball this year, but weren't able to win it all. So maybe he's a little annoyed about it now, not getting here early enough to be an all-star. But obviously, when you only have 4 losses going into the College World Series, you're going to think you're going the whole way. I'm not sure he's going to be too upset about getting here a little late.
Sends it foul back to the padding behind home plate.
He's been a great guy also for his teammates. You just see him every game playing around with everyone, whether it be 2-ball, whether it be just hitting the 2 guys, just passing a ball between 2 bats or anything, kind of just dancing around. It's Stephen Kwan generally leading these things, having fun, bringing a looser atmosphere to this Wareham Gatemen lineup that was tight early on.
1-2 is outside.
Of course, the other guy that really does that is Willie McIver, who today during pregame we're playing 2000s hits today, throwback Thursday day. Even though it's on a Thursday. Actually, I thought today was Friday. I got my days mixed up, and he was dancing a bunch too, getting everyone involved.
Yeah, McIver, one of those guys that'll keep you entertained. One of the best personalities that the Gatemen have.
One of the Donut Boys, according to you.
If you missed it on Twitter, go look at the Gatemen Twitter page. He ate the famous donut burger at Yarmouth Dennis. Runner was going, but now the Gatemen have the bases loaded as Kwan draws the walk. And now something getting going here for the Wareham Gatemen. Back-to-back walks.
Don Sneddon, during their last losing streak, was talking to us a lot about how the 2-out hitting has been a struggle, and just 2-out really anything offensively, production-wise. Right now, the Gatemen, the past couple weeks, actually, have been getting a lot more production with 2 outs. Right now, you have Kyle Kasser at the plate, not exactly a home run hitter. You don't expect a grand slam out of him, but Torrey Hunter once said, you don't want him to get a home run on this. You don't want a grand slam. You want a single or a double to keep the rally going.
Don't take all the ducks off the pond. Just take 2.
Absolutely, and that way your next guy can come up. He's feeling good. Everyone's starting to get in the pitcher's
He hits
head.
the home run.
Maybe he hits the home run. He gets the next guy going. Just keep the train alive.
Kasser flew out to left in the first. Sable at third. Ben Baird at second. Kwan at first. Two balls and 1 strike to Kasser.
Two pitchers today starting, and both of them having control issues. Both of them kind of having issues finding the strike zone. 2 strikeouts for Montgomery, but 1 strikeout, but he had 2 walks. And 2 walks now for Milto.
Milto looking for strike 3 here with 2 outs in the inning, and the bases juiced for Kyle Kasser. Milto delivers the 2-2 pitch. Sent to center field. It's a blooper, and it will drop for a base hit. 1 run scores. His second run, it's coming around. That will score as well. Heading to third is Kwan. He will get there safely. And the Gatemen right back in it. They score 2 thanks to Kyle Kasser. And
we just mentioned, hey, you don't want the home run. You want the nice little blue pit. Keep the train alive. put another duck on the pond, I guess we could say. Well, beautiful piece of hitting right there by Kyle Kasser, and then a little bit of poor defense by the Brewster Whitecaps, not covering every base, and Stephen Kwan able to take advantage of it, seeing no one's on third base. Well, doesn't matter if they get the play off correctly, because I'm faster than everyone else on this team, and I can make the third before anyone else can get over there. And now runners at the corners.
Gatemen answer the Brewster Whitecaps by scoring 2 runs. They're not done. Willie McIver thought about swinging at that first pitch. Holds back for ball 1.
And this is Milto's game right now. The Brewster bullpen is currently playing 2-ball, so they're not even watching Milto currently struggle right now.
Oh, this one hits McIver right in that left shoulder area. He goes down to first base, and hey, look, bases loaded for the second time in this inning.
Yeah, and another guy who's not exactly a home run hitter, but a very good contact guy, Jaron Duran, coming to the plate.
Here comes Jamie Shevchik, the head coach for the Brewster Whitecaps in his 3rd season.
Yeah, this has to just be a meeting unless there's an injury going on, as we saw yesterday with Noah Zavalis, who got injured in the middle of his start, because there's no one in the bullpen right now. So unless they're bringing a completely unstretched and not an unwarm arm onto the pitching rubber, this is still Milto's inning and Milto's jam to get out of.
Looks like Milto will stay in. Just a conversation between Milto as catcher and Shevchik.
Part of it also is, if you read this, obviously coaches here don't get a lot of scouting reports. It's tough to really see this stuff. They look at the stats and they see Duran a lot of singles. Just a guy gets a lot of ground balls, stuff like that. So if you can get a ground ball right here, it's a force at any single plate, and that'll end the inning.
Kwan at 3rd, Kasser at 2nd, McIver at 1st. And Jaron Duran at the plate. Duran singled back in the 1st inning.
The middle infielder's not holding Kasser on at all, so any hit into the outfield will appear to be 2 runs for the Gatemen.
Duran to the outfield. It falls. 2 more runs are going to score for Wareham. McIver to 3rd. Duran to 2nd. This game is tied up at 4, just like that.
And again, keep the rally going. Just got to get another bloop single, space almost the same spot as Kyle Kasser's hit, a little bit deeper, and Willie McIver on his horse right there, making his way to 3rd. Possibly was thinking about going around. Jimmy Franco saying, no, stay here. And now you have a guy at the plate where we were talking about singles, doubles, get something going. Well, now you have a guy that you got it tied. Now might be the time to bring all the ducks around and get all the ducks off the pond, and you have a guy who can hit a home run right now and get them all home.
The 9th batter to face Milto in this inning. 8 batters got to the plate last half inning for the Whitecaps. And Wareham bests them with now 9. What an answer from the Gatemen, as we felt that the life was sucked out a bit here at Spillane Field. But it's back just a half inning later.
And we felt like the life's kind of been out of the Gatemen for a little bit, and just kind of thinking that, almost like seems like no one can get a hit. Well, now everyone's able to see their spots a little better. And as soon as you got one guy to hit it, all of a sudden you see the ball a little better. Maybe the ball comes in a little slower. And all of a sudden, it looks a lot more like a meatball instead of a baseball.
Contact made from Anchia in foul territory. The first baseman, Infante, makes the catch. And the Gatemen leave the bases loaded, but not before they score 4 runs in the bottom of the 2nd. They tie this game up at 4. You're watching Wareham Gatemen baseball on WCTV. Brewster scores 4 in the top of the second. Wareham, they score 4 in the bottom of the second. This game is all tied up at Spillane Field. Jacob Toby along with Matt Weasel there, bringing you Wareham Gatemen baseball on WCTV. Marty Costas, Hunter Bishop, Michael Curry for the Brewster Whitecaps to face Tanner Dodson. In this half inning, Costas fouls the first pitch off behind home plate.
And this is an inning now where you have Tanner Dodson, who's on the mound now, and he has no runner. Center Montgomery's responsibility. He gave up a double to Michael Taylor, but now it's all on him.
0-1, sent to Sable. He'll run it over himself. Easy first out for the Wareham Gatemen.
Usually the first baseman will toss it over to the pitcher on those plays. Tanner Dodson getting a good jump on him, but Blake Sable might be the fastest of the 3 catchers that the Gatemen have that really rotate between catcher and first base, and he's able to just take care of it himself.
Hunter Bishop, he was the one that started the second inning affair for the Brewster Whitecaps. He walked, then scored on a wild pitch from Justin Montgomery. And Dodson will work very quickly. That's one thing that you'll notice about his delivery.
You have to wonder, Dodson, he's an outfielder, if he maybe feels bad for the players, knowing how they feel like when just being stuck out there.
Sable again. This time he flips to his pitcher. Dodson handles it for out number 2.
Dodson recognizes, hey, if I'm not working quick, I got players just out there waiting to get at bat. They're kind of just stuck out there. Well, maybe if I pitch quick, we can get back in and start batting again really quick. Sure, that wasn't the exact reasoning for him starting to pitch quick back when he was growing up, but hey, it works for him.
Michael Curry, the DH. 7th in the league in walks with 18. And this Brewster team, they know how to walk. 173 walks coming into today, the most in the CCBL. Swing and miss there from Curry.
And that's always good. And you want to make sure you have a good eye. Obviously, that last pitch was a little high. If it was taken, it probably wouldn't have been a ball as well. But being able to see what pitches you want is very important.
Dodson's 1-1. Just a bit outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. In their last 5 games, the Whitecaps are 1-3-1. 2-1 sent foul. Rain is still coming down at Spillane Field, as you can see in that shot. The lights are on as well. Earlier than usual, but obviously there's cloud cover, so it's a little bit darker in the park tonight.
You have to wonder which was a worse day to play baseball, whether it's the Christmas in July day a couple days ago where it's about 50 degrees out, or right now where it's just nice, muggy, and rainy.
2-2, Baird on the run, and he retires Michael Curry for the 6-3 putout. 1-2-3 go the Brewster Whitecaps. For the first time in this ball game, we head to the bottom of the third, a 4-4 tie at Spillane. back at Spillane Field, bottom of the third. Wareham and Brewster tied up at 4. Glad to bring you this game on WCTV. Jacob Toby with Matt Weasel there. John Topa will lead it off for the Wareham Gatemen, followed by Robbie Metz and Blake Sable. And a new pitcher on the hill for the Whitecaps, it's Joe Demers. Paul Milto, the starter, going 2 innings, giving up 5 hits, 4 earned runs, no strikeouts and 2 walks. And Demers out of the University of Washington, a teammate of Willie McIver and Ben Baird, making his 11th appearance out of the bullpen. 0-1 with a 1.59 ERA. 16 strikeouts to 14 walks. Demers 2-1 to Topa's outside. Milto struggled with the command a bit last inning for the Whitecaps. He walked 2 batters. Resulted in 4 runs scoring. 3-1 to Topa. He takes strike 2. So a full count for Joe Demers, the new pitcher for the Whitecaps, following Paulie Milto. 3-2 is going to sail out of the park foul.
John Topa may have gotten a hit in the All-Star game, may have been 1 for 2 in the All-Star game, but he has struggled since a hot start. In his last 8 games, he is 3 for 25, which is not what you want to see from your everyday outfielder.
He at one point led the league in batting average earlier on in the season. 3-2, sent to left, and Costas has it sized up.
Make that 3 for 27 now.
Nice math.
Absolutely struggling right now, and he's someone who comes to the plate with a lot of confidence. He always comes in with a smile on his face, but you have to wonder now, hey, look, he's not, you're not hitting the ball well. Is something going on in your head? You don't really have a lot of people to go on the bench, though. You have Nick Angelini on the bench right now. He's about your only outfielder you have left. Yeah, you're playing Robbie Metz in right field, where he hasn't played since last year in Cape Cod.
Metz will take strike 1. He grounded out to the shortstop, Graffinino.
Didn't even realize Metz was coming to the plate right there when I mentioned him.
I thought you did. I didn't even register your tone that you didn't know he was at the plate.
I'm just seeing the future right now, or really the present. As right now you can look, if you look behind the right field fence really far out, you can see some sky right there. Not everything cloudy around here, but still not pretty right above Spillane Field, where it hasn't been for the Gatemen for the past 4 games.
Time was called at the plate for a moment. Now here comes Demers 0-2. Metz doesn't chase. Mentioned Metz playing some outfield last year. Played everywhere. We saw him at first, second, third, shortstop, left and right. Don't believe he played any center. That was last year.
No center, no catcher. Everywhere else was free game for Robbie Metz.
I'll have to check on if he played center field with Matt Feld. 2-2 is cut on and missed. Metz strikes out for out number 2. That is the first strikeout that a pitcher for Brewster has thrown tonight.
Everyone is just having command issues, it appears, who the Gatemen play. And for the Gatemen, the past couple days, Jason Billis, I mentioned Marty yesterday, 6 walks, which was not what you want to see from your starting pitcher who can hit up to 98 miles an hour on his fastball. Everyone just having issues, but hey, if you're getting the outs, you're getting the wins, it's fine. Right now for Brewster, though, they're tied, so it's not fine.
Blake Sable. He singled and scored in the second inning. One of 4 runs to cross the plate for the Wareham Gatemen. Sable, one of the youngest players in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Just finished up his freshman season at USC.
It's actually interesting you just mentioned Mets, and I have to correct you really quickly because it seems like he played first, short, everywhere. He didn't play any at first, didn't play any third, any at short. He played 14 games at second, which is his normal, comfortable position. Played 21 games in the outfield. And only 1 game at third base, which is interesting because that's been his primary position this year for the Gatemen.
1-2. Up in the air. Chandler, Taylor, and Wright makes the catch, and the Gatemen, they go 1-2-3 for the first time in this ball game. Same thing as the Brewster Whitecaps in the last half inning. No score. We head to the 4th. 4-4 tie-up at Spillane Field. Top 4 at Spillane. Jacob Toby, Matt Weaselthair bringing you this game on WCTV. Tanner Dodson back on the hill for the Gatemen. He will face Kyle Datris, who struck out in that second inning. Datris shows bunt, pulls it back, but takes strike 1. It is Datris, Graffinino, and Infante. 7-8-9 for the Whitecaps.
This is all Tanner Dodson time right now. The bullpen playing some wiffle ball out there, so it's all up to him right now.
Oh, Metz falls down, but he still makes the catch. He slipped on the grass, but he recovers nicely for out number 1.
That's one nice thing about playing the outfield is generally when it's in the infield, if you slip on those plays, it's usually so hard hit that it's behind you. Well, nice little lazy fly ball high in the air. Metz able to he could have taken a quick picnic right there and gotten under it. And enough time for him to make the out.
Graffinino up at the plate. The RBI singled his first time up and also scored a run. Bourne is up on Harwich right now in the bottom of the 3rd, a 2-0 score.
And we mentioned how the Gatemen are only 4 points out of last place. Well, they're only 4 points out of third place, 5 points out of second place right now in the West Division. So just like that, they can be right back at the top. Bourne right now in second place with 38 points, Falmouth in first with 39. Huge game if Bourne were to lose to Harwich, who Harwich was able to win yesterday, snap a 9-game losing streak by snapping YD's 9-game winning streak. But if Harwich were to win and start their own streak right now, the Gatemen win here today would start gaining in the West Division standings.
Graffinino flies out. For out number 2, Orleans is up 2-0 on the YD Red Sox, bottom of the 2nd, a matchup of first and second place in the East.
Orleans, you've seen a few high-scoring games, but their pitching staff has been phenomenal all season long. That's the reason why they've been in the first place in the East for most of the season. YD, basically their only competition, going back and forth. throughout the season. And then we mentioned here some bases loaded stuff.
Sable will flip over to Dotson, and he flips it behind his head to end the inning. Some emotion there from Dotson.
Yeah, we mentioned some base loaded stuff. Well, guess what? Falmouth, they're playing at Chatham. They got their first run of the game in the top of the second with a bases loaded walk. Any way to score.
Any way to score. And a 4-4 ball game right now at Spillane Field. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Nine 1-2 for Wareham. The bottom half of the fourth. Ben Baird, Stephen Kwan, Kyle Kasser. Baird was ready on the first pitch to swing, but he cuts right through it.
Baird, his last time up, walked, and he was able to show how good an eye he has, and when he gets on base, it's really nice. You mentioned that 9-1-2, all very fast players with Baird, Kwan, and Kasser. Of course, the biggest problem for Baird right now has been getting on base, only a 190 on base percentage.
This is Baird's 20th game he's played this summer. And he'll swing and miss. He strikes out for out number one.
3 pitches high and inside, and all of them the same exact swing coming in. Was able to get a piece of the second one, but right there was just De Beers was able to just attack that one spot, and Baird unable to catch up to it 3 straight times.
Stephen Kwan will step in to face Demers.
Sorry about that, Demers, my bad.
Kwan has had a good day so far. He singled in the first, walked and scored in the second, and fouls this one off. Could you say that Stephen Kwan has been, since he's got here, the most consistent hitter in this lineup?
Absolutely, and it's not just, and it's also consistency in his swing. He had a little, about 5-game stretch where he was kind of throwing things, just kind of throwing his bat at things to the outfield like he did right there.
Takes this one to center field, and it's going to fall. Kwan rounding first, chugging to second, and he slides in with a 1-out double.
A little unconventional slide, kind of hit the bag first with his hand there, kind of just popped back up on the Spillane stone dust, but Kwan, on that one, he had a little 5-game stretch where he was kind of, instead of the line drive that you saw right there, was kind of hitting a little bit higher fly balls, which are deep, but with Kwan doesn't really have the power to get it out of here in Spillane Field, whereas he's mainly just been a slap hitter, getting the ball in play and being able to use his speed to get on base. His first couple games here, he wasn't running that hard. Don Stennon kind of sat him down after that, and since then he's been running really hard down to first base, even on simple plays that he's out from the second it's off his bat.
Kyle Kasser, 2 RBI single in the second inning. Connects with this one, sends it And a diving effort made by the center fielder Bishop. He can't get it. Quan is going to be waved around to score. Kyle Kasser, an RBI double, gives the Wareham Gatemen a 5-4 lead.
A good dive right there by Hunter Bishop, and the only reason I say that is because he wasn't going to be able to make that play even on the run. Had the backup right there from Chandler Taylor, but unable to make the play. And with Quan's speed, even though he was hanging on to second base, getting ready to tag to head to third, if the play was made, he's got enough speed to make it around second, get around two bases really fast before any outfielder has a chance of getting him out.
Kyle Kasser's had a good day. An RBI double and a 2 RBI single. First pitch swinging is McIver. He pops it up. The second baseman done on the edge of the infield.
That's been McIver's issue past couple weeks, has been just getting under the ball a little bit. He's making solid contact. If the bat was about 2 centimeters higher, these would be line drives. Instead, they're just fly balls that are getting too high in the air and not getting too much under it. It needs to start looking a little bit higher on the ball.
Is that some sun I see out there in right center field?
Turn off the lights. It's starting to get beautiful here.
Not the anticipated forecast we thought would happen, but we'll take it. Jaron Duran stepping in with Kasser at second.
The forecast was very shaky today, and depending from any single place you looked, went from anywhere. We were basing a lot of things around 7 o'clock. It went anywhere from a 90% chance of rain at 7 o'clock to a 15% chance of rain at 9 o'clock to no rain to 50%. It was all over the place, and luckily we're able to play baseball today.
This one hit to Graffinino. On to first. He puts Duran away to end the inning. Not before Kyle Kasser comes through once more. RBI double gives the Gatemen their first lead of the day, 5-4 at Spillane Field. Nick Dunn will step in for the Brewster Whitecaps versus Dodson, and he swings on this one, was jammed, but he sends it right to left field, and he's in for a leadoff base hit.
As now, there you go, a nice little rainbow.
Look at that.
Coming over Spillane Field. How the times have changed. We keep talking about how the narrative's changing in different days. Well, how about the narrative changing in about 30 minutes? From gray, disgusting skies to now a beautiful rainbow across the gem of the Cape right here in Wareham.
Gem of the Cape, Spillane Field. Chandler Taylor at the plate.
Chandler Taylor from the University of Alabama has the distinct honor, I'm not sure if you want to say honor, but not many people get to say this, has come in second place twice in a home run hitting contest in 2 weeks. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the best thing you want to hear on your resume, but he's been in both of them. He's gone in the finals in both of them, but unable to win either home run hitting contest, one in Omaha and one here at Spillane Field.
He lost to Steven Scott of the Orleans Firebirds here at Spillane last Saturday during the All-Star game. home run hitting contest. He jacks this one out to left field. Back goes Topa at the wall. It's gone. A 2-run jack. And the music at Spillane for the Gatemen comes on. Oh my Lord, a 2-run home run for Chandler Taylor gives the Brewster Whitecaps a 6-5 lead. Taylor's 8th home run of the season.
Someone must have heard me about 400 feet away that he didn't win the home run hitting contest here, because that one was right off the bat a no-doubter. John Topa looking up at it, hoping maybe it'll come down a little quick, but unlike the rain right now, it's not coming down. Hits the bleachers. A beautiful shot for Chandler Taylor. There's a reason he was in both home run hitting contests. Phenomenal swing right there, and all the power in the world. Shows it off right there.
Mickey Gasper back to Dotson on the mound. And he throws over to Sable. I have to admit, I was a tad bit confused because the music came on for a quick second. Had to look down, make sure it was Brewster still on the scoreboard here.
Larry the Music Man, always excited to get that music going.
Larry, what are you doing?
We were talking about this the other day. I was asking him questions. He just goes, I play the music. I just play the music. Right there, he played the music too soon. A little problem right there for him, and problem for Tanner Dotson. And obviously, if you're Tanner Dotson, you don't want to think that the press box is against you up there. As now the rain coming down a little bit right here. All of us, it's not really showing, but a little bit of water coming in to our press box in left field, and you have to wonder, maybe the tears of the Wareham Gatemen gods, whatever it is, coming down right now on the Gatemen.
Wow.
After giving up that home run.
What a description. What a description from Matt Weasel there. Marty Costas, the left fielder, is 0 for 2. Also want to congratulate former Gateman intern Megan O'Brien. She was the sideline reporter here for WCTV about 3 years back, I believe. She was just named the New England Patriots and Kraft Sports Media on-air host/reporter today. She's at the ballpark.
Huge congratulations to her. I'm not a huge Patriots guy, being from Long Island, very much a Jets fan.
Yeah,
but I'll be telling you that I'll be watching a heck of a lot more Patriots coverage, seeing Megan O'Brien, who's absolutely phenomenal, taking the reins out there at Gillette Stadium.
You can just leave the broadcast booth now, Jets fan.
I would, but it's, again, the rain's starting to come down a little bit. I think I like here where there's a little roof.
Hunter Bishop is 0 for 1. He has walked and scored and grounded out to Ben Baird at shortstop.
Hunter Bishop only 1 home run on the season, but he just saw Chandler Taylor's home run, and he tried almost a home run swing right there, trying to get it out of here with all his might. And Dotson, though, has a nice little breaking pitch, and he's able to fool one Hunter Bishop.
Making sure Costas doesn't have too much of a lead over at first base. Bishop quickly down 0-2. Gatemen didn't have the lead that long. We now trail at 6-5 after being up 5-4. A 2-run home run for Chandler Taylor in this half inning. To left field. 0-2, swung on and missed. Snap throw down to first. Sable, he couldn't handle it, but doesn't matter as Bishop strikes out for out number 2.
Right there, Blake Sable, a catcher himself, and he kind of just did a little catcher-esque move at first base, blocking the ball very nicely. Obviously, a little bit not as nice to do without the chest protector on or anything, but able to keep the ball in front of him, which is exactly what you do as a catcher, what you want to do at least, because if it got behind him, runner moves to second and also in the scoring position.
I can't stop looking at that thing. Look at it. It's a nice picture. Nice rainbow. And Don Snedden will come out to the mound, talk to Tanner Dodson. You don't see Don Snedden out to the mound too often. It's been mostly pitching coach Jim Lawler making the changes. Wolfie Wolfram is in the bullpen for the Gatemen.
Yeah, it looks like he's just playing wiffle ball right now. He's known out there for his wiffle ball skills. You know, we were talking. We had a little would you rather with Matt Feld, and a couple of things were with Brett Knine and Grant Wolfram. Grant Wolfram his wiffle ball skills, and Brett Knine his ability to juggle.
Yeah, doesn't even have the glove on over in the bullpen. They check Costas again. It's about the fourth time in this inning, but he's back.
Dodson is needed to go deep in this game. He's seen at the next level almost that he could be a fourth starter, so they need him to give him a few innings of work right here before they can put anyone in. Obviously, they expected Montgomery to go about 5 innings tonight, like he has the past few starts, besides his one where he struggled at Harwich.
Time called at the plate. Plate umpire Timothy Carey making the signal. Michael Curry has a 1-1 count. Swings this one foul into the fence behind home plate. So the weather has changed. The score has changed. What else is going to change?
I know, the sun has already creeped back behind the clouds. The nice little daylight that the Gatemen were feeling is gone now. A little bit still kind of by second base where Duran is, but what are you going to do?
Now there's a bit of confusion. Home plate umpire Timothy Carey going to the dugout, talking to head coach Jamie Shevchuk about something, and it seems to be pointing his finger.
I mean, he is looking at the one man who is a coach that has been ejected this season so far in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Not looking for a second one right now.
And that doesn't happen too often. Ejections here on the Cape. One-two pitch is low. So Costas is the runner at first. 2 outs in the inning. A 5-6 ball game here. Runner down to second base. And he's in there.
Yeah, that one got in the dirt right there from McIver, but he had no play on it anyway. Runner too quick. Was able to block it in front of him, which would be nice if the runner was coming from third, but runner coming from first, too fast for McIver to make the play.
3-2 is low. Dodson will walk Curry. And now Kyle Datris will come up. He is 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out in the second, flew out to right field in the fourth.
The Gatemen bullpen is ice cold right now. So this is all Dodson's time, and he doesn't really have much of a choice. They need him to get out of this inning. He's got 2 outs and can't afford much more damage. 5 runs is a lot to give your pitching staff. Can't afford to keep having to force the offense to score more. 5 runs is enough.
Seventh batter to face Dodson in the 5th. Kasser to second for the force out. And that will end the inning. Not before Chandler Taylor blasts a 2-run shot to left and gives his Whitecaps a 6-5 lead. You're watching Wareham Gatemen Baseball on WCTV. New ball game at Spillane Field, 6-5 lead for the Whitecaps. Jacob Toby and Matt Weaselthayer bringing you the action here on WCTV. Jake Anchia, the DH, to lead it off, followed by John Topa and Robbie Metz.
Jake Anchia just saw his fellow home run hitting contest participant go yard, hoping to do exactly the same thing.
Swing and miss. Sam Bordner is the new pitcher for the Whitecaps, as this one is sent foul off to the right. Sam Bordner out of Louisville. This is his 7th appearance, a 1.93 ERA and 9 1/3 innings pitched.
The way you can tell he's pitching, all the way out here in left field, you can see the gold hair that he has.
Are they locks? Are they flowing? I think they are. The golden locks.
Also have to mention this game going a little bit, hopefully not jinxing this, but a little bit faster than the one the other day. And someone that just walked into the broadcast booth, one of our producers, Jesse Ruiz, has his own show, the Jesse Ruiz Show.
What a plug! What a plug!
And I'm gonna keep the plug going. He had a nice little guest appearance. The game was going really long against Hyannis the other day, so he got on the air for the 9th inning and was able to do play-by-play. And if you want to hear that play-by-play, go to Wareham TV on YouTube. How's that for a plug? I just got the compliment from the man himself.
Two balls and 2 strikes with no outs to Jake Anchia. Now a full count. Joe Demers, 2 innings, 1 earned run, 2 hits, no walks, and a couple of strikeouts.
No walks, but I did have trouble getting over the strike zone, and that did cost him.
3-2, right back to the mound. Flips onto his first baseman Infante for out number 1. That will bring up John Topa. 0 for 2 is flown out twice. Once to right and once to left.
One last quick note on Bordner. He has appeared against the Gatemen once this season before. Pitched 2 innings of 1 hit ball, 2 strikeouts, and 0s all across the rest of the board.
Topa takes strike 1.
The other day, which is interesting why he said this, Topa, we're talking about players that, teams that you just struggle against. Topa goes, Brewster, I just struggle against. Well, he's batting .364 against them coming into this game.
I was just going to say that.
He was saying, I just can't hit him well. Might be the past couple of games. He just goes, I can't hit him well. Right now, maybe just he can't hit anything well. I mentioned before, he's 3 for his last 27, hoping not to make that 28.
Yeah, 4 for now 13 versus the Whitecaps. And he swings and misses there for the 2nd out of the inning.
And that right there, we want to talk about struggles. That was his now 6th strikeout against the Brewster Whitecaps in only 4 games. That's something you really don't want to see.
Robbie Metz also 0 for 2. Grounded out to the shortstop Graffinino and struck out swinging.
It's been a lot of just the same suspects coming in for the Gatemen and getting hits. And generally you want that to end up being, well, get the rest of the lineup kind of going. But it's been Stephen Kwan, Blake Sable the past few games has been doing pretty good. Kyle Castor has always been a consistent hitter. Same with Jaron Duran. Both of them kind of just been nice contact guys. Besides that, those are the 4 guys that have hits this game. Besides that, the rest of the lineup has been struggling. No one else has a hit, and really no one else has been hitting at all. Stephen Kwan's been really the only one hitting, and nothing's electrified the rest of the offense.
3 balls and no strikes now to Robbie Metz. He'll take a low strike. Timothy Carey, the umpire at home plate tonight. Nick DeMarchi at first and Jeff January at third. Bordner's 3-1 is sent back foul out of play.
Robbie Metz in right field tonight. There's really just a lot of trouble with outfield depth. Tanner Dotson pitching today, so he's not fielding. Tristan Pompey, generally been the right fielder since he's come off the DH role, got re-injured, and that's why Metz is in the outfield today. And you're going to see a lot of Angelini and Metz kind of going back and forth in that right field role for the rest of the season, unless the Gatemen get Tristan Pompey back from injury or are able to find someone else. I'm going to call him off the waiver wire at this point, because it's just first come, first serve to all these teams who need people. You know, every team needs things. Right now, Brewster needs pitchers. I wouldn't say pitching necessarily, but they need pitchers. They only have 10 on the roster right now, and we've already seen 3 of them. You need people to pitch every single day.
Runner at first now is Robbie Metz. Blake Sable will take his hacks against Sam Bordner. Sable singled and scored in the second. Flew out to right field to end the third. He shows bunt and pulls it back.
Sable tries to take advantage of what some would see as deceptive speed, despite over 20 steals at college. He is a catcher, so people don't see it. He was able to hit a triple, though, a couple nights ago.
Gatemen right now have 5 hits through 4 2/3 innings. Sable sends this one up in the air. Coming in is Costas, but the shortstop, Graffinito, out there to make the catch and end the inning. Gatemen strand 1 runner on first, and they can't score. They still trail at 6-5 here at Spillane. Tanner Dodson, his night is done on the mound for the Wareham Gatemen. Pitches 3 2/3 innings, lets up two runs on the home run from Chandler Taylor. A couple walks and a strikeout. Now paves the way for Barrett Losky.
Barrett Losky's struggled since he's entered the Gatemen pitching staff from Arkansas, where a former teammate of the Gatemen, Luke Bonfield, was from. Always nice to get a teammate from your own school here, but they spent one game together before Bonfield was just exhausted after a long season. Legs get tired. He got out of here. Barrett Losky comes in now, and he's got a fresh start with fresh teammates now that he's never met, and he's struggled since getting here, but now has as good a time as any to get on a hot streak.
Oh, this one skips past McIver. AJ Graffinino, the batter right now from the left side. He singled and scored in the second with an RBI as well. And he flew out to left field in the fourth.
Barrett Losky, through 2 appearances, a 16.2 ERA, only 1 2/3 innings, and 4 runs given up with only 3 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. So not very often do you see a pitcher have more runs given up than hits. And that's certainly not something you want to see if you're the Gatemen.
Two 2-1. Sent to left. Topa backtracking for out number 1.
Interesting from our angle right there. John Topa made the catch and almost looked like the ball was kind of popping out of the netting a little bit, which, of all people, you don't want your outfielders to have the ball kind of go through the glove. We see this sometimes at first base. We've seen it a couple times this season, particularly in Bourne. It happened a couple times between Willie McIver, who was at first at that time, and the Bourne first baseman also had that issue during a game earlier this season. You don't want to see your outfielder, though. If the ball goes through the webbing of an outfield glove, you're in real trouble.
Julian Infante swinging on the first pitch, sends it into foul territory down the first base line and out of play. Infante singled and scored in that 4-run second inning for the Whitecaps. Part of a 1-for-2 day for Infante.
And we mentioned that absolute shot by Chandler Taylor earlier. Well, I mentioned this earlier about how I was told by a Red Sox scout that Infante might have the most raw power on this team. Well, what can he do with the ball then?
Gateman hoping he doesn't show what he can do with the ball. No balls and 2 strikes to Infante. Nick Dunn waiting on deck. Framed by McIver just a bit inside. Bourne still up 2-0 over Harwich in the bottom of the 5th at White House Field in Harwich.
Our other producer, Nick Veronesi, mentioned a little fun fact for me, was that there was no 5 p.m. starts today. All games played under the lights. Not often you see that in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Very rare occurrence. A couple fields without lights here in the CCBL. One field that does have lights, though, is Eldridge Park, where the Orleans Firebirds have a 2-1 lead over the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox in the top of the 5th. Of course, that matchup, Orleans first in the East with 50 points, first team to 50 this summer, and YD with 47 points, trailing them by 3 as Nick Dunn takes ball 1.
The only 2 teams to currently clinch a playoff berth in the Cape Cod Baseball League. And there's only one other game that matters then for Gatemen fans, though, because sadly, despite that one being 1-2 in the East, exciting, not really important for Gatemen fans. It's more important the game happening in Chatham, where the Falmouth Commodores got to a 1-0 lead in the top of the second thanks to a walk with bases loaded. Chatham able to respond in the bottom half of the inning, thanks to a single and a sac fly. Just simple as that to get runs going. It's 2-1. The Anglers over the Falmouth Commodores, and the Gatemen, you know, we're talking about they're on a 4-game losing streak. Well, just as quickly that could flip back around, get another 4-game winning streak somehow. You know, not a lot of season left, but you can still do it. And all of a sudden, you're only 4 points. Sorry, 4 points. Excuse me. Yeah, I was right. Behind Falmouth right now, you have a chance to hop right back above them.
Strike one taken from Dunn, who is 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a run scored. Takes back-to-back strikes.
Mentioned Lowski's been having issues finding the strike zone, more walks than strikeouts right now, but with the base open, you have the opportunity to be aggressive here on 3-2 with 2 outs.
Lowski's 3-2. Just a bit low. And Dunn down to first for the 3rd time today. So Lowski walks Nick Dunn. Chandler Taylor has had himself a day. A 2 RBI double in the 2nd and a 2-run home run in the 5th, part of a 4 RBI night for the Alabama product.
And, you know, there's a reason that he was in the home run hitting contest was because he is able to hit the ball with such power, and both of his hits were really solidly hit off the barrel of the bat.
Showing bunt and pulling it back is Taylor. You don't expect that from your power-hitting right fielder, but he shows bunt there.
Absolutely not, but one thing about being in those home run hitting contests is it hurts your swing a little bit, and one thing about Taylor is his swing really hasn't been too fixed since that first home run hitting contest back in Omaha, and his average has definitely taken a hit because of that here in Brewster. He's still able to hit jacks to the outfield, obviously, but it's tough to really make contact for him when you're looking at these more 50, 60 mile an hour pitches that are batting practice pitches compared to the 80 to 90 range you're going to see here from the actual pitchers.
Gasper first in the CCBL and RBIs with 32 now. He's on deck. Chandler Taylor at the plate right now. Ball dropped by McIver. Three balls and 1 strike to Taylor, with a runner on first and 2 outs. And a breaking pitch thrown by Lowski.
Home run swing right there by Taylor, looking for that, really the nail in the coffin right now. Obviously the Gatemen were able to score 4 runs to match the Brewster Whitecaps in the 2nd inning, but the bats have again gone quiet, and 8 runs is a heck of a lot to ask for from your offense to match. We've seen it before in a 12-inning tie in Falmouth where it was a 9-9 game, but tough to do.
3-2 out to left. Topa going back. He will make the catch. Taylor sends it for a ride. But John Topa out and left, making the catch to end the inning. It's still a 6-5 ball game in favor of the Brewster Whitecaps. Brewster has had a busy day. They've scored 6 runs here at Spillane Field. They lead it 6-5 over the Wareham Gatemen. They've also had a busy day in the transactions department. They've made 7 transactions today throughout the Cape League. They've signed a couple players and released a couple. Busy day for the ball club. Ben Baird swings on the first pitch and sends it foul. They signed and activated Connor McNamara, as well as signing and activating Ryan Sear. They release Ryan Avedano, and they sign and activate Troy Miller. It's about as many transactions as you'll see in one day here on the Cape.
Got to get players in and out. You know, players getting tired. Sometimes pitchers, sometimes batters just getting tired. You need to get more players, though, especially you want to make that playoff push now. They seem pretty safe right now in the playoff standings. They're coming into tonight 11 points above Harwich, so you'd assume for the last playoff spot in the East, so you'd assume they're pretty good there, but never hurts to have some insurance. And especially in a situation like this, where you never know how quick, hey, look, Harwich, they're losing right now, but all it is a few games left. Let's say they win out just somehow, just making this up, all of a sudden, you might be out of here.
Baird has struck out swinging to start off the inning, his second strikeout today.
Problem is, if you're a Gatemen fan, is right now Gatemen are having trouble finding some of these players. They've been releasing a lot lately. Griffin Roberts just released after he had an injury in his last start, and his coach called him back. Tristan Pompey, you don't know if he's going to play again. You already lost 4, so that's 4 of your starting rotation already between Justin Glover, Miller Hogan, Joey Matulovic, and Griffin Roberts. Between either pitch counts or injuries, they've all gone home. Now your only starter from the beginning of the season that's left is Justin Montgomery. He struggled today, and eventually you're going to have to find someone to come in and fill these gaps, fill these roles, unless it's going to be an early exit either before the playoffs or in the first round of the playoffs. Sometimes it's about depth to just get you through this entire season.
Stephen Kwan at the plate. 2 for 2 day with a couple runs scored. Can you imagine if Wareham did not lose 4 starting pitchers, what their rotation would look like and the bullpen?
It would be, this wasn't just 4 starting pitchers. This was 4 of the best starting pitchers on the Cape. They were all pitching phenomenally. When Miller Hogan left, he had the best ERA in the Cape Cod Baseball League. When Griffin Roberts left, he had a top 3 ERA in the Cape Cod Baseball League. When Joey Matulovic left, he was top 10. All qualified pitchers, because not a few of these relievers don't qualify. And then Justin Glover never qualified, but he was still pitching phenomenally when he got injured and left. So you're talking about what could have been one of the best staffs out here to compete. Right now, in my opinion, the best staff out here is Orleans, and they could have been right up there with them. Instead, injuries, pitch counts, inning limits, all these things coming back to haunt the Gatemen at this point.
Kasser on the first pitch to the shortstop. Graffinino, they flip on to first. They get that double play, and the inning is over just like that. The Gatemen, they can't score to tie this ball game up. 6-5 at Spillane Field. The Brewster Whitecaps have the lead. Now that was cool. Stephen Kwan playing catch with a fan out in center field. That's what you love about the Cape Cod Baseball League.
That fan's got a better arm than I do, I want to say, first off. If he wants, I think we're looking at some future Gatemen because he's already got a cannon. He's not too old. Looking towards the future, Gatemen right here, an arm in center field.
Barrett Losky on the mound for his second inning of work, facing Mickey Gasper.
I mentioned earlier that Stephen Kwan kind of brought a little relaxation, a little fun to this team. Well, it's always fun for fans to get something like that, and that's a lifelong memory you get to have right there.
These players are looked up to as idols to the youngsters here on the Cape, and what an experience that was for the young fan in center field. Play some catch with a guy that's probably going to end up in the majors one day.
Absolutely. If you're looking at players right now for the game and then have the shot to make it to that next level, Stephen Kwan with the speed and fielding that he has and his ability to slap hit. You know, we mentioned it's a little similar to Ichiro-esque ability to slap hit so well and use his speed. He's someone that can make it there. And I think I'm going to have to go grab my glove after this right now in between innings, try to get my turn throwing with Stephen Kwan. I don't think he's going to let me, but worth a shot.
Rain is really coming down at Spillane right now, but the good thing is that we've gone through 5 innings, so they can call this game, and it will still be official.
Bad news, though, if you're a Gatemen fan, as they really want another run on the board at least. Though, right now, the way Barrett Losky is pitching, it almost looks like that run could be coming on the other side of the scoreboard.
Marty Costas stepping up to the plate with Mickey Gasper on first base. He walked. And time called at the plate by Costas. Mentioned last half inning about pitchers going home for the Wareham Gatemen. A similar situation last season. As this one in on the hands and hits Costas, bending over in pain.
Hit his bat, though. They're calling that a foul ball.
Are they? Wow.
You know, when it's up there right at the hands, it's tough to make that call. And if you hear the bat, anything hit the bat, though, it doesn't matter. It can hit you first. But if it hits the bat, that's a foul ball. And it stinks if you're the batter. Obviously, not saying you want to go down the first that way. You know, it does hurt a lot to have that happen to you. But that's the right call right there by the umpire.
Out there right now with the trainer. And the trainer, her name is Maria. She was actually with the Wareham Gatemen last summer. Now has found herself in Brewster, one of our good friends.
Yeah, probably not as used to a game like this where it's nice and dark outside. That's not just the clouds covering the field, but it's getting late here. And there's lights on. Usually for her now this season, when it gets around like this, baseball's time is over. It's time to go home.
At Stony Brook Field. So Costas still at the plate. Gets hit on the hands, but it also hits the bat. So he stays in. Now down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It is Hunter Bishop waiting on deck. Some action in that Wareham bullpen as well as Brewster. Get names in a moment.
It's a 1-run game. Can't afford to give up any more runs if you're either side. For Brewster, this is a chance. Not only I mentioned that they're near the, want to obviously just finish off and get in the playoffs, seal that playoff spot, but also with Chatham winning at the moment, you want to stay right with them.
2-2 to center, and Kwan won't get there. It's going to roll to the wall. Costas going 3. Run's going to come home. It's Gasper. He scores. An RBI triple for Marty Costas. Gives this Brewster Whitecaps team a 2-run lead, 7-5.
And for a Gatemen lineup where the bats have gone ice cold, this is the last thing that can happen to you. The Brewster Whitecaps bullpen now getting ready to, go 1, 2, 3 and finish off this game. Go with your 7th inning guy, set a man closer, and get out of here with a win. Whereas the Gatemen now needs something to go right on the offensive side. Meanwhile, a 3-run lead is just 90 feet away.
Hunter Bishop. First pitch swinging and missing. Little kid comes over and asks us if he saw us playing catch.
I mean, we announced it up here. He's asking us if we announced it. We announced it up here, and man, did he have an arm. We got to mention the arm on that.
Oh, nice play from Sable at first. He'll step on the bag, look back, Costas at third. And that's the first out of the inning. Nice play from Blake Sable. So the runner stays at third. Michael Curry will come up. The DH is 0 for 1 with 2 walks and a run scored. Curry first pitch swinging. Thought he could maybe drive one out of here like he did in the All-Star game a couple days ago on Saturday.
And, if we're talking about the shot that Chandler Taylor had, it was all power in that one. For Curry, it was just a liner straight to the bullpen. It would have hit a couple of his teammates right now who are warming up if he had that same exact hit.
Ball in the dirt, but McIver keeps it in front of him. Saw a couple wild pitches earlier in the ball game in that second inning for Justin Montgomery. Hunter Bishop scored on a wild pitch, the first run of the day for the Whitecaps. Montgomery only going 1 1/3 innings. Paved the way for Tanner Dodson and now Barrett Lowski, who has a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes on Michael Curry with 1 out in the inning and a runner on third.
Lowski's longest outing of the season so far.
Trying to keep this a 2-run ball game. 1-2. Marty Costas is the runner at third. He RBI tripled. Lowski's 2-2, just a bit low.
Lowski just can't seem to get that third strike across. A couple times he's been ahead in counts and gotten a little too aggressive with his stuff and just missing the strike zone.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Curry, and he walks him. Curry's 3rd walk of the day. He now is 21 on the season, 7th in the league in walks.
You mentioned earlier how the Gatemen lead the league in walks allowed. They don't allow a lot of walks, less than 100. The only team to have that. Well, if this rate continues, that's probably going to change. Currently, have 7 walks in this game to only 2 strikeouts. And that's not a ratio that Jim Lawler would like to see.
Kyle Datris takes ball 1. Datris is 0 for 3. Struck out in the 2nd, flew out in the 4th, reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Thought about going down to second base was Curry, but he scurries back.
Attempt at a suicide bunt right there to get the runner across, and if Curry were to go to second, there wouldn't be much of a play for McIver with the speedy, with Martin Costas, who just hit a triple. Wouldn't be an option really. If McIver would go to second, the run would score.
2-0. becomes 3-0. If you're Dotris, are you looking for a possible pitch to hit?
I think right now with the control issues that Loski's having, 3 walks and no strikeouts, you might just want to take this pitch and leave the bat on the shoulder.
He does just that.
Depends on the batter. Some batters are really aggressive. They say 3-0, well, the pitcher's about to throw me a meatball down the middle of the plate because he has to get in back in the count. Some batters, though, like the chance of, hey, maybe the pitcher's going to mess up and give me another ball, and I'm just going to walk down to first base easily.
Loski's 3-1 is low. 3 walks in the inning, and now the bases are loaded. And Jim Lawler is going to signal to his bullpen. He will make a pitching change here at Spillane Field. A 2-run ball game, 7-5. Brewster's got the lead. New pitcher for the Wareham Gatemen is Aaron Hernandez. Loski's night is done. 1 1/3 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 1 hit, 4 walks. And now the home plate umpire, Timothy Carey, out to hand Hernandez something. And now he's going to talk to head coach Don Snedden. Probably just getting some baseballs.
Looked like maybe something was behind the mound, maybe a powder or something, not really sure, but get off the mound really quick and just get back to play. Aaron Hernandez, I'm a little surprised he's coming in this situation. Rumors were that Jim Lawler was going to have him come in to start actually tomorrow, and instead right now coming in a bases loaded situation where double play is a must.
Kyle Datris at the plate. Takes a strike. Well, here's the situation. 2 walks in the inning. Given up by Loski. An RBI triple by Marty Costas. Makes this a 2-run ball game, 7-5 in favor of the Whitecaps. Only one out in the inning.
Hernandez has not been lucky in the situations he's been put in. He keeps getting in on situations with runners in scoring position, really hasn't gotten a fresh inning for himself. And that doesn't make your life any easier as a pitcher. None of the runners on the bases right now are his responsibility, but he's got to get it out unless this game's almost over.
This one's sent to the left and out of play as it bounces on the pavement down that left field line.
And the last thing, of course, that Hernandez can do right now, which has been the Gatemen specialty today, is walk someone. 8 walks today. 2 by Montgomery, 2 by Dodson, 4 by Barrett-Losky. And can't afford to walk and bring in a run that would make it a 3-run lead for the Whitecaps.
1-2 is fouled straight back. And Christian Malfetta is at second base coming in for Nick Dunn.
Whitecaps definitely looking for insurance right now. They have a short pitching staff right now. Probably don't want to bring maybe at most 2 more pitchers into this game in very short outings. To do that, get a lot of runs so your pitching staff doesn't have to worry that much.
This one fouled right to the left of the dugout for Brewster. I said Nick Dunn, I meant Michael Curry. So a pinch runner, Christian Malfetta.
Michael Curry, a fast runner, but if you can get even faster and possibly a little bit better defense, Curry, no more for his bat than his glove or his legs.
Time called at the plate by Datris. Two balls and 2 strikes to Datris. Hernandez getting the signs from his catcher, McIver. His 2-2. Connected with. Sent out to right field. Metz coming in, makes the catch. Tagging from third is Costas. He is in. 8-5 Brewster.
Good job right there by Dietrich, just making solid contact, getting out to right field. And that's the difference when you have Robbie Metz out there compared to Tanner Dodson or Tristan Pompey, is the arm strength. Robbie Metz has really good arm strength for a third baseman, particularly a second baseman, where you don't need a lot of arm strength. Third base, he's still able to make plays. But in right field, we've seen where you need your most powerful arm at times. Tanner Dodson, if he's out there, he's able to make a very hard throw to home plate, whereas Robbie Metz isn't able to make as accurate a throw, and it might be a little bit of familiarity out in the outfield.
Graffinino takes ball 1 away.
And now the Gatemen down 3 runs. Second time this game that they've been down at least 3 runs. And another situation where you're kind of hoping the bats come alive. But it's tough when you're out here, standing out here in the field for so long. Worked last time.
Big swing and miss from Graffinino.
That all the way back in the second inning, though. And second inning seems a long, long way away from where we are now.
Christian Malfetta, the runner at second base, coming in for Michael Curry. Breaking ball swung on and missed from Graffinino. So that run that scored is charged to Barrett-Losky, his second earned run of the day. Malfetta also would be charged to Losky if he does score.
as well as Datris, who is at first base. And Hernandez showing good stuff coming in here if they were fresh bases, but obviously not the case.
1-2. Call strike 3. Hernandez gets out of the inning. But the Brewster Whitecaps score 2 more. It's time to stretch here at Spillane. The Gatemen trail by 3. Zach Schneider is the new pitcher, taking over for Sam Bordner for the Whitecaps, as they lead this game 8-5, as we're all stretched out here at Spillane Field. Bottom of the 7th, Jacob Toby along with Matt Wieselthayer. Schneider will face Willie McIver to start off his outing, and the side armor gets McIver to swing and miss.
We have these little kids out here in the outfield, and they were calling out to us earlier when Stephen Kwan was going, well, now they're feeling a little adventurous, and they're trying to get throw to everyone, and they're really testing their arm. Currently, right now, kind of in dead center field, trying to throw to left fielder.
McIver sends this one to right center. Bishop is under it. McIver is now 0 for 3 on the day. Jaron Duran will come up to the plate.
If there's anyone that's going to get something started right now for the game, and it's going to be Jaron Duran, who has been hitting very well, 1 against Brewster and 2 in this game.
Zach Schneider out of Florida Atlantic, 6'0", 180 pounds.
First appearance this season for the Brewster Whitecaps, who are in need of having more and more pitching come in for them. They have a lot of position players, and obviously they're doing well hitting-wise. They're able to see the ball well, leading the league in walks, but they need something else to come on the pitching side, and they're running out of pitchers right now to use.
Duran is 2 for 3 today. A single in the first and a double in the second.
Wouldn't be surprised if Don Stennon keeps trying to move Duran up the lineup. They have that first three they have pretty much cemented between Quan, Dotson when he's not pitching, and Kyle Kasser. But I wouldn't be surprised if Duran was still in this cleanup spot when Dotson re-entered the lineup, the way he's been batting the past few days.
YD has tied the ball game up with Orleans at 2 apiece. The bottom of the 6th at Eldridge Park in Orleans. Duran will head down to first with a walk. Bourne is up 3-0 on Harwich, bottom of the 7th. Of course, an important one to keep an eye on if you're a Gatemen fan.
The Gatemen right now need everything to kind of go their way, and the one game that they were really going to watch today not being played thanks to the in-and-out rain that we've had and that would be Catuit and Hyannis. The game that the Gatemen really looking at between the teams right above and below them in the standings.
And Gia takes strike one. Starter for the Bourne Braves, Zach Hess tonight. 3 innings, no earned, 5 strikeouts, followed by their bullpen, Sean Leland, 3 1/3 and 4 strikeouts. Bullpen perfect tonight.
I can tell you that was Zach Hess, the freshman out of LSU that got scouts from all over raving about him. That was his last start on the Cape. He was scheduled to pitch 3 starts. First one we saw him with our own eyes during a game where it was a little rainy beforehand, again against Bourne. 45-minute delay for that game. Zach Hess went 3 2/3 innings of scoreless ball. His last start struggled a lot and gave up 3 runs in 3 2/3, and this one was able to go out scoreless as the LSU Tigers trying to move him back into being a starter.
Falmouth trailing Chatham 3-1 at Veterans Field in the bottom of the 6th. Falmouth, the first place team by 1 point.
And if the Gatemen were wondering when they have to look out for that Hyannis-Catuit game, it's going to be played a little bit before the Gatemen host Catuit on Monday. The Gatemen and Catuit were, Wareham and Catuit were supposed to play at Spillane Field a little while ago, I think about last week and a half ago. And the game was rained out. It was pouring rain, and Andy Lang, the GM, was trying to push for the game to be played. Obviously, not a lot of days left to be for games, and eventually had to cancel the game due to rain, due to the puddles on the field. So, Gatemen and Catuit were rescheduled to July 31st. Well, Hyannis and Catuit, there aren't a lot of days left, and the only off day technically left is the day before the playoffs start. You don't really want to use that off day unless you absolutely have to, and that would probably be if it was one of the last 2 days of the season. So the Catuit now having a doubleheader, an interesting doubleheader. First against Hyannis at noon, and then they come here to Spillane Field around 6:30 to play another game. Now your typical doubleheader.
Topa takes ball 2. He is 0 for 3. Has flown out to right field, left field, and struck out swinging.
And you talk about the grind of some of these days. Well, it's already tough enough playing those early season 2 7-inning doubleheaders. It's tough enough traveling all around the Cape. Well, now you have to travel twice in one day to do different places, starting with a very early day. You could probably be out 9 o'clock. You're already getting ready to stretch and stuff and start taking BP back in Catuit if you're the Kettleers to travel all the way to Hyannis. And right after that game, win or lose, there isn't much time for a break. You're traveling out here to Spillane Field. Once again, make sure you're still stretched out. Hopefully you're not too tired, and play another game of baseball.
This one to Graffinino on the run, guns down Topa. That will end the inning. The Gatemen strand 1 runner, and through 7, they trail by 3. You're watching Wareham Gatemen baseball on WCTV. Nick Dunn at second base today for the Brewster Whitecaps. He has had a good night, 2 for 2 with a run. He will bat from the left side. Be Dunn, Chandler, Taylor, and Mickey Gasper. Quan under this one makes the catch.
Aaron Hernandez, since coming into this game, has looked really good, being able to locate his pitches very well, something that almost every Gatemen pitcher has struggled with today. But he's been able to be successful. Did give up one run, not charged to him, but it was a sac fly, and again, that's fine. I mean, similar hit to that one, Stephen Kwan right there. You're allowed to have fly balls, just so happened that the bases were loaded at the time, and it cost the Gatemen a run.
Chandler Taylor takes ball 1.
We've already seen today, if you hang a pitch to Chandler Taylor, chances are you're not seeing it again. Made very poor contact in his last at-bat and almost sent it out of the park. John Topa getting it where the warning track would be on a normal field, able to make the play in left field, and it was very poor contact, opposite field off the top of the bat, but just his power and ability to get the ball out to the outfield. There's a reason he's been in the home run hitting contest twice this summer.
Hernandez 3-1. Is ball 4.
As I say, Hernandez has been locating really well. He walks Chandler Taylor. However, if there's anyone that you might want to walk right now, it is Chandler Taylor, who's been making the best contact of any Brewster Whitecap today. Not necessarily in the actual contact that he makes. The contact has been kind of weak, opposite field, a little bit late in his swings, but the power behind his contact has been there. And that's scary if you're a Gatemen fielder right now in a field where it's almost impossible to rob home runs with the gate being so high.
Mickey Gasper. He takes ball 1. He is 0 for 3 today with a walk and a run scored. In the bottom of the 8th, the Gatemen will have Robbie Metz, Blake Sable, Ben Baird, 7, 8, 9. As they trail by 3 runs.
And, you know, most days you have to wonder, well, is there anyone on the bench that could kind of give us a spark? There's only 2 position players on the bench today, Nate Fosnot and Nick Angelini, and unless you're bringing in someone from the bullpen, you have someone like Grant Wolfram, who has a home run before the game here at Spillane Field, had a little bet with Willie McIver if he could hit a home run in 10 swings. On the 10th swing was able to hit a home run. But unless you're bringing someone in like that, you're going with the lineup you have.
1-2. Fouled off. How would you like that? I mean, I can't even hit a home run. Wolfram's a pitcher. He can belt one out of 10 swings.
That shows.
And it's not even his game.
Oh, yeah, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a wiffle ball home run, because that's all he's doing out there right now, because he has the day off, just throwing beautiful wiffle ball pitches. But man, that just shows the power he has in his legs and his ability to go towards the plate with his arm and his legs. And you know, Willie McIver still owes him a sandwich at Country Market because of it.
Hernandez gets his second strikeout of his outing. Gasper down swinging for out number 2. Marty Costas now to the plate. RBI tripled back in the 7th.
Outfield still playing the same, though. Not really too worried, apparently, about the power of Costas. Stephen Kwan still playing almost a little bit still to his left. Costas is right. Not expecting a pull.
Taylor is the runner at first. He walked, courtesy of Aaron Hernandez. 2-0 sent foul.
Obviously, this game not over yet. If you're a Wareham Gatemen fan looking at it, you throw it back 6 innings, and the Gatemen scored 4 runs. Very possible for the Gatemen to get back into this. However, it just seems like the life is drained out of Spillane Field.
Runner was going to second base. The throw is in time. Taylor caught stealing before Hernandez even threw a pitch. He was off, and he's caught at second base. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Still a 3-run lead for the Whitecaps. Robbie Metz, Blake Sable, Ben Baird. 7-8-9 for the Wareham Gatemen. They need 3 runs to tie. They still got 6 outs to work with. Bottom of the 8th and then the bottom of the 9th. Unless they can get the lead here in the 8th. Starting with Robbie Metz. He swings on the first pitch and sends it foul against Zach Schneider, who came in relief of Sam Bordner, who threw 2 shutout innings with a couple strikeouts and 2 walks. Offense has struggled today. The Gatemen had the lead for just 1 inning as Metz pops this one up to the second baseman, Malfetta.
Gatemen hitting, Don Senna has said this before, hitting's contagious, and the Gatemen hitting has been contagious today. The problem is it was contagious for 1 inning. They have another run that they got on the bottom of the fourth, but that wasn't anything, a ton of hits. That was one man on. They were able to get him around. Hitting is contagious for the Gatemen, which is true, but you need to hit. And someone's got to get started, and no one has been able to get anything started. Just 2 consecutive hits, something can really revive your offense that's dead at the moment.
So 7 hits tonight for Wareham, just 4 last night versus the Kettleers. Head coach Don Sneddon saying you can't win too many games with that, referencing 4 hits total for a 9-inning ball game.
And you look at the scoreboard and you'd say, well, you know what? Coach Don Sneddon probably has to be pretty happy with his hitting, right? 5 runs, pitching not great today, and that's why you have the 8 runs on the other side. But if I'm Coach Don Sneddon, I'm still very disappointed because it was that 1 inning of work. And besides that, they've been shut down against a team that they clearly have had success before against. This isn't something new, this random people that they're seeing for the first time. They've seen Bordner before, Demers before. This isn't the first time they've seen their stuff, and they've come out flat. Besides Milto at the very start of the game, they haven't really been able to do anything.
Nice hitters count here for Blake Sable. 3 balls and 1 strike, with 1 out in the inning. And he will walk. That ball gets away from Gasper behind the plate. Blake Sable was heading for a turn around first, but he stays right there with 1 out.
Second time that this happened in 2 days for Blake Sable, where he's been walked and already looking towards second base. Right now it's about staying on base and kind of just get something rolling again. Ben Baird's at bat, and if he can get on base again, maybe through a walk, through a hit, bring it back to the top of the order, that's been really your strong suit so far today and for the past few days.
Ben Baird, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Has a walk and a run scored as well. That coming back in the 4-run second inning for the Wareham Gatemen. They then got 1 run in the 4th on an RBI double from Kyle Kasser. They still trail by 3. Sable down to second base. The throw is not in time. And Blake Sable showing the speed as he steals second base, getting into scoring position.
Interesting to watch Schneider pitch. He's got that sidearm delivery, which we've seen a bunch throughout the Cape. But what's interesting is kind of right after the pitch, he kind of gets set up, kind of goes a couple times up and down, and then kind of loses all balance together and kind of falls down a little bit of a cat pouncing stance.
2-0 on the ground. Graffinino at short. His only plays at first. And he puts away Ben Baird. Baird does advance Sable over to third.
Productive out with the top of your order coming up that has been able to get hits. So now a hit right now for Stephen Kwan. And you have a 1 run coming across. Kyle Kasser already has a 2 RBI double, single today, and hit by him. All of a sudden, Kwan maybe can get around 2. William McIver is batting third. He's struggled as of late, but hey, he's still one of your most reliable hitters. Something like that, just to get things started, get things rolling here in the bottom of the 8th.
First pitch by Schneider, taken for strike 1 from Stephen Kwan. Kwan 2 for 2, 2 walks, 2 runs scored, and a double. One ball and 1 strike to the Oregon State Beaver. Kyle Kasser hoping he can get an opportunity. He's on deck.
And I was talking this before the game with our current stream play-by-play guy Connor Federico and how there's just not really any power in this lineup. Jake Anchia is the only power bat that you have right now.
1-2. On the ground, done at second. And the Gatemen held scoreless again. They can't score in the 8th, so we head to the 9th. 8-5, Brewster up over Wareham right now on WCTV. Top of the 9th at Spillane Field, an 8-5 lead for the Brewster Whitecaps. Jacob Toby along with Matt Weasel there bringing you the action on WCTV. It is Costas, Bishop, and Malfetta in the top half of the 9th, and they will be facing a new pitcher, Will Neely, the Tennessee product. Last time out versus the Katua Kettleers was, yesterday. He pitched an inning, struck out a couple batters, looked pretty good.
Will Neely is his 3rd time pitching in 4 days after kind of going quiet for a month. We haven't seen him in a while, and all of a sudden he's getting a lot more action with the pitching staff getting a little thinner, and he's impressed. He's given up a couple runs, but still he's been able to locate a little better than he was at the beginning of the season, and it's been successful for them.
Neely 0-1 with a 2.79 ERA. This is his 8th appearance of the season. On the ground, foul down the third base line.
And for Will Neely, there's almost, even though he's coming in a fresh inning, this is almost damage control at this point. Give your team a chance in the bottom of the 9th, only down 3.
In the bottom of the 9th, the Gatemen will have Kyle Kasser, Willie McIver, Jaron Duran.
And that's the 3 you want. The only other person you can add to that really is Stephen Kwan, who's been really good today. But those are the guys you want at the plate. And right behind him is Jake Anchia, who can end this game in one swing if all 3 runners were to get on.
Costas is 1 for 3 today with an RBI triple in the 7th. He also walked in the 5th. Fouls off his 3rd straight pitch. Bourne taking a 4-1 lead on the Harwich Mariners in the top of the 9th at White House Field.
Bourne looking like they're going to stay in first place after tonight.
Baird retires Costas for the first out of the inning. Zach Susi, a home run in the top of the ninth for the Bravos.
Zusi more known for his glove than his bat. He's got one of the best pop times, is what they call it, which essentially means that he's able to get up when he gets the ball behind the plate. As soon as the pitch comes in, he's able to get up very quickly to make a play, and his arm is really good as well. Not easy for anyone to run on him.
Hunter Bishop at the plate fouls the first pitch off, and Zach Susi, that was his second home run of the game.
Showing the power from behind the plate.
Little dribbler, and Kasser won't be able to get there in time to make the throw, and Bishop is on with a squibbed single.
Heard a couple of boos from the crowd, not what you want to hear, but that one right there, a tough play. You have to include a few elements here. The infield grass at Spillane Field a little bit higher than at other fields, which slows down the ball, one. And two, you have the wetness from the rain earlier that slows down the ball even more. Makes it a very tough play, and the ball was kind of slowing down from the second it hit the ground.
Andrew Freejay also a home run for Bourne. So 3 home runs, giving them all their offense they need tonight, as they have the 4-1 lead over the Mariners, top of the ninth. Neely facing Christian Malfetta.
Always nice to see the long ball. It's an exciting play, but as we talked about earlier, sometimes it is nicer to not necessarily have the long ball. Of course, 2 solo shots for Zach Susi. That's exactly what you want.
And going down to second is Bishop. No one was covering, and McIver wasn't thinking about throwing down, so Bishop is on.
And that's interesting to see with Will Neely, who has such a fast wind-up to the plate, always pitching out of stretch, to see anyone really have time, but Bishop able to read Neely very well on that one.
McIver keeps it in front of him. 2-2 ball game still at Eldridge Park in Orleans between the Red Sox and the Firebirds, top of the 8th. And the Commodores trail the Chatham Anglers 3-2 in the top of the 8th.
I have to apologize really quick. Falmouth in first place at the moment. Bourne would retake first place if the results would hold tonight. And there is one team, though, that's the big winner from all of this tonight. It still is the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, because the Wareham Gatemen get a loss, and they have a chance now to get a win and make up for it.
Alec Boehm, another home run for the Commodores as they try to rally back. They're down by that 1 run, 3-2.
It's getting really tight towards the end of the season, and usually it is teams that are, kind of got off to that hot start that don't have to worry about things right now. Well, both Hyannis and Wareham did not get off the hot starts. Harwich also didn't, and Harwich now suffering, and they're almost eliminated from the playoffs. Wareham and Hyannis now have to compete for that last spot due to those weak starts.
Can I help you, sir? No, thanks. Just looking. Christian Malfetta sits down for out number 2.
Interesting stat brought up is that in the past, I believe, 9 years, the 4th place team in the West has gotten 17 wins, and that's been enough. We're going to see if that's enough this year, with kind of an interesting dynamic in both divisions. One, the East being very top-heavy, and then kind of not as good nearly at the bottom of the division. And then the West, where everything, any given day, anyone can beat anyone. Hyannis seems like they've been a little bit further behind, but now they're coming right back. It's going to be a nail-biter to the finish.
Datris swings on the 0-1. The Wild, Wild West, as our Sam Corman likes to call it.
And it has been wild, and it's going to be wild till the final day, because you're looking at a division where the Gatemen, who are currently in 4th place, can somehow end up in 1st place in just about 5 games. That's, you don't usually can say that in any type of sport, that the 4th place team is all of a sudden about to make 1st place.
It was not as wild last year. Falmouth and Wareham were the 1st and 2nd place teams with 58 and 54 points respectively. Then a drop-off between Bourne and Hyannis, who had 44 and 34 points. Falmouth, of course, had the best record in the CCBL, 58 points, under head coach Jeff Trundy, winning the Manager of the Year award.
But again, that shows that, hey, I mean, they weren't able to win it all. YD coming out with the win. They were 2nd place in the East Division last season, but one thing that we all know is you just got to make it to that final week of the season in August. When I see final week, I mean the playoffs. After starting about August 6th, you just got to make it there, and then it's anyone's ball game. The Gatemen currently having some starting pitching woes and everything, but if they were able to make the playoffs, and their offense maybe comes alive. Noah Zavalis maybe isn't as injured. He's able to pitch. Justin Montgomery able to come out strong. Stuff like that can get you back in the playoff picture and can maybe get you a nice CCBL title.
Neely gives this team exactly what they need. No runs in the 9th. Wareham trying to walk it off. Stay with us. Zach Schneider's night is done for the Brewster Whitecaps. It is Connor McNamara's turn, making his debut for Brewster. Was just officially signed today, coming out of Marist. Just finished up his freshman season. 12 appearances and 7 games started. 4-2 with a 6.07 ERA. 19 Ks, 9 walks. He will face Kyle Kasser, Willie McIver, Jaron Duran as the Gatemen try to walk it off or tie it in the bottom of the 9th. Kyle Kasser takes strike one.
Welcome to the CCBL. Now here's a safe situation. Go get it for us. We need to get out of here with a win and try and keep up with Chatham and try to get that third spot in the East Division. And honestly, whichever spot you get, third or fourth in the East is going to be tough because you're facing Orleans or YD. But, pick your poison. You still want to have that third spot and have bragging rights.
Kasser is 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a double. He's also grounded into a 6-4-3 double play.
Won't have to worry about that this time, I bet.
1-2. Laser into left. And the leadoff hitter is on for the Gatemen.
Beautiful piece of hitting right there. Perfect little slap hit. Something we got to realize is the ball comes in fast enough. It's coming in usually around 90 miles an hour from these pitchers generally. On a fastball, literally just throw your bat at it, make solid contact, and get the next guy aboard.
McIver has struggled today, 0 for 3. Also was hit by a pitch in the second inning by Paul Milto. First pitch swinging, sends it on to the second baseman Dunn. They'll go to second for 1. To first, the throw is going to go into the Gatemen dugout. Watch out. And McIver will be granted second base. So Kasser is out, but McIver now in scoring position with 1 out.
Good news, you got a man in scoring position. The bad news is you have your first out of the inning. And the Gatemen, in that 4-run second inning, did all their damage with 2 outs. You don't want to be getting down to 2 outs, though. At this point, you have the winning run is currently in the hole at the moment. The tying run on deck. Got to get something going still, and any out is not going to help you.
Duran. First pitch swinging. Sends it to the right side of the infield. And he's going to stay at first. So runners at the corners. Tying run coming to the plate. And Jake Anchia.
If there's any person on this team that's healthy, that can tie this game in one swing, he's at the plate right now. Jake Anchia, there's a reason he was in the home run hitting contest. It's because he can hit jacks. Really good in college, hitting double digits in home runs this season.
McIver at third, Duran at first. And Jake Anchia at the plate. Facing McNamara.
The winning run right behind him in John Topa, if the game can get up to that.
1-0 up in the air to center. Not going to be enough for a homer. Will it be enough to score McIver? Throw's going to come in to center field. It's cut off. McIver will score. The Gatemen get 1 run, but they sacrifice an out.
And that's not exactly the greatest thing in the world for the Gatemen because the tying run's still at the plate, but John Topa is not that power threat. He's not going to finish this in one swing, and behind him is Robbie Metz. He's not going to finish it in one swing. Blake Sable's the next guy, but any more outs, and Blake Sable's not going to be able to be seen to get the win. You got the 1 run, which is great, but still, the most important run of this entire game is at the plate.
John Topa takes ball 1.
If there's any way to get out of a slump right here, might be the time in a clutch situation.
Three balls and no strikes to Topa.
Not to keep harping on him. 3 for his last 29, and tough situation.
Almost hits him. He'll go down to first. So first and second, 2 outs. Robbie Metz.
Your new everyday right fielder, who knows what he can do. He's been in this clutch situation just about a week ago. Had a walk-off pinch hit single. Right now, though, a single isn't going to cut it. Single will maybe get Duran around, but it's not going to get 2 runs around to tie the game. Mets last season in the Cape had 1 home run, but not necessarily thinking that it's going to happen here. And possibly this might be the situation where you go to a little bit more of experience.
Yes, they will. There will be a pitching change here at Spillane Field in the bottom of the 9th. Matthew Beck coming on for the Whitecaps. We'll take a short break. Be right back. Matthew Beck is the new pitcher for the Brewster Whitecaps. This is his 5th appearance, a 7.71 ERA. More walks than strikeouts, 5-4. He will face Robbie Metz with 2 runners on in the bottom of the 9th. John Topa's at first. He walked. Duran is at second. He's singled. There are 2 outs in the inning. Metz is now the winning run. Duran dancing at second base, and a big cut from Metz.
Metz trying to end this game with 1 swing. One guy that can do it if Metz were to get on is Blake Sable behind him. A couple home runs this season so far for the Gatemen. Even though it has been a little bit more of a finesse player, can end this in 1 swing.
Duran dancing. Metz checks his swing. Did he go? He did not. Saying first base umpire Nick DeMarchi, and the Brewster bullpen doesn't agree.
No, I think they want to get out of here also, and they want to get out of here with a win.
2 balls and 1 strike. And another big cut from Robbie Metz, and the Wareham Gatemen have one more strike left.
Not always the best move to be shooting for that home run. Metz right now putting on his fastest swing and hardest swing. Just a single will suffice. Keep the runners moving. Duran on a single of the outfield possibly could be crossing home plate. It's a one-run game.
Beck's 2-2. Runner goes up and in, and Duran will head down to third with a stolen base.
And that's nice for the Gatemen, but the force play is still at first and second. It's a full count, one strike, and this game's over no matter how much Duran runs home.
Duran at third, Topa at first, 2 outs in the inning. Robbie Metz is the game-winning run at the plate. 3-2 pitch is fouled off.
We saw a similar pitch a little earlier, a couple innings ago, by Barrett Lowski to a Brewster batter. Happened to come in and hit the knob of the bat to foul off. Any lower or higher on that pitch, and it's probably hits Robbie Metz, and he's on first base with Blake Sable at the plate.
Runners at the corners, 2 outs. 3-2 pitch is inside. It probably, yes, it did hit him. Bases loaded for one, Blake Sable.
And if there's any situation for Blake Sable to come in and, show off a little bit, here it is right now. He's been hitting well the past few days. He was the first run of the game for the Gatemen, and he has some power as well. Anything to the outfield should probably tie this game if it's a hit.
First pitch to Sable, zips in for strike one. Jonathan Stever warming in the bullpen for the Whitecaps. Sable to right. It's in for a base hit. 1 run scores, and they're going to hold the second. So scoring on the plays, Duran. They're going to hold Topa at third. Blake Sable makes this a 1-run ball game.
Topa slowed down around third base, not giving any opportunity to really get around. Jimmy Francos was sending him. However, Topa a couple stutter steps, then tried to remake his run, unable to get fast enough, and now it makes it way too hard for him to get around. And now it's up to the 9-hitter to try and win this game. Could always do what he did earlier, walk and tie it up. We've already seen around the Cape a bases loaded walk today. But that was all the way back in the Falmouth-Chatham game.
Ben Baird is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, a walk, and a run scored. He's got the bases juiced.
Biggest at-bat of the season for him so far.
Swings at the first pitch and hits it foul. Baird fouls off the second pitch, and again Wareham down to their final strike.
Ben Baird's been making some solid swings, some solid contact, a little under the ball right now. Pitches coming really inside, high and inside. Same thing happened earlier this season. Earlier this game, and Ben Baird struggled through it.
Pitch is outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the bases are loaded at Spillane Field for the Gatemen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Matthew Beck, here comes the pitch. It's fouled off.
Good job by Baird staying alive on that one. That's all you can ask for him to do right there. And just, again, this situation, find your pitch.
Topa at third, Metz at second, Sable at first, Ben Baird at the plate. 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. The 1-2. Outside.
Baird is a young player. You don't want to, obviously you want to be the hero right here. That time trying to really play hero and swing, and almost swung at a pitch way outside.
Bases loaded. 2-2 pitch. Baird fouls it off again. Fighting to stay alive. The 9-hitter, Ben Baird.
Phenomenal job by Baird here, working this at bat, trying to win the battle right here and give the Gatemen at least a tie in this game.
Will Baird win the battle? Bases loaded. 2-2. Baird takes strike 3. And the Wareham Gatemen are now losers of 5 in a row. Baird leaves the bases loaded. And Spillane Field can't believe it. Wareham Gatemen lose their 5th straight ball game to the Brewster Whitecaps by a final score of 8-7. They fall to 16-20-1 on the season. Gatemen, 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Brewster, 8 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. And they drop this one 8-7, your final score at Spillane Field. That'll do it for us here on WCTV. Next game will be tomorrow as the Wareham Gatemen travel to Falmouth to play the first place Falmouth Commodores. That game will start at 6 p.m. Catch the live stream on the Gatemen YouTube channel. And we're back home at Spillane Field on Saturday, 6:30 first pitch versus the Orleans Firebirds. For our entire WCTV crew here tonight, for Matt Weasel Thayer, I'm Jacob Toby saying so long. The Wareham Gatemen drop their 5th straight to the Brewster Whitecaps, 8-7 at Spillane Field.